Greetings and salutations. My name is LEKECIA, and my channel is called Love Me More Foundation. On this channel, we will be discussing story times about domestic violence. I will be sharing my story times. You are welcome to email me or to link up with me to tell your story time about your domestic violence experience if you feel comfortable enough. My goal is to make this sorry, I'm looking at my phone. My goal is to make this channel a very safe space for us to talk about domestic violence issues, domestic violence recovery, being a survivor instead of a victim of domestic violence, and knowing the signs of abuse, knowing the red flags, identifying them so that you can be aware of them. And greetings and salutations. My name is LEKECIA, and my
darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light. Mission on mission, I'm trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh. I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror, unapologetically love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful, I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof, I'm 100 proof. And I love who I see, because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible, I'm incredible, a star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible, I'm incredible, and no one can stop me. Can't stop me now. I'm invincible.
All right. Welcome to Alchemizing Energy. Today we have a special guest, LEKECIA Garland, and she's going to tell us about her DV abuse and how she overcame it, her new clothing line, all that. So let's welcome to the stage LEKECIA Garland.
hello, everyone. Greetings. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's just start this off right. Who is LEKECIA Garland? And where? Let's just start. You
Let's
started.
start.
You are a fashion designer. Let's
Wait,
get
Jimmy.
into who you are first.
My name is LEKECIA. That's we gonna start there. My name is
I'm
LEKECIA, not
LEKECIA.
LEKECIA.
Keisha. I'm
So
sorry. You know
yes,
what? It's easy
okay,
to do
right,
that. You know.
right, but I and that's is like a pet peeve of mine. So I like for my name to be pronounced how it's spelled and not how it just looks. It looks like LEKECIA, but it's not. It's pronounced LEKECIA.
Okay,
So
LEKECIA. All right,
yes.
LEKECIA.
So
So let's
I
start it off
am
right. Go ahead.
yeah. So I am a 49-year-old woman first. I am a mother second. And I am a daughter and all of those things. But my profession is I am a fashion, jewelry, and cobbler. So a cobbler is someone that makes footwear. So I know how to make shoes, clothes, and jewelry. Um, and what I am most of all is a woman of God. I am a lover of human beings. I stand for justice. I stand for all things, making sure that women are protected. Um, I was a product of, you know, um, incest and molestation. So I'm an advocate for, that kind of situation as well as domestic violence because I've had women in my family um, leave this planet before their time at the hands of a man. And I can say a couple of times that happened to me where I came close to being not here on this planet to tell this story.
Okay, so LEKECIA, let's get into your story. Like, okay,
So
where
from
are
the
you
age,
from? Let's go.
so I was born in Compton, California at Martin Luther King Hospital, right at the cusp of basically like there's projects, Imperial projects, and then there's Compton. So the hospital, Martin Luther King Hospital, sits right there. And I was born and raised in Compton and in Watts. And I was raised, and my grandmother, great great grandmother, lived right by the Watts Tower. So that was like my route to my aunt's house and everything every day, seeing all the amazing things that were created there. But I went through a lot as a child because at the age of 2, I was touched. I'm going to try to say this as nicely as possible by a cousin who was touched himself. And my family is filled with incest. My grandmother, which is my father, my biological father's mother, met a man. I don't know where she met him at. She met him. She began to have some type of relationship with him. She had children at the time. He touched every one of her children, my father included. One of her daughters, which is my aunt, married him at the age of 14. Her son, their son, is the one that touched me at the age of 2. He was, how can I say this? There was a fire and he got burned all over his body. So at the time when he did this to me, I never looked at my cousin and like, oh my God, I'm scared of him because since I was born, he looked like that. So I never looked at him any kind of way. But he would play these games with me. And even basically, he would play these games with me because the molester or the Chester, I'll say the Chester that my aunt married, that was my grandmother's man, did things to him. So he did the same things to me. And the Chester was watching all the time. Like he would leave and say, because he like used to manage like apartment buildings and things like that. And people need to watch out for building managers because he was a building manager. So he was always around kids, always around single mothers, always around people that were disabled and needed some type of help in fixing in their home or handyman stuff. Um, Now, mind you, he had another two sets of family that he was simultaneously doing this to as well. And so, but at the time that I was two, these things were happening to me. My mother and my father were married, but my father stole me from my mother, beat my mother, um, basically unconscious, and stole me. This was how this violation took place. So from 2 to 3, this violation was taking place until my aunt, my mother's sister, because my mom was crying and she was like, he got my baby and he told me he's gonna off me if I come get my baby. And my aunt was like, damn that, we going to get my niece. She went to go and get me. And my dad was in the house high off of heroin. And I was 3 years old with a dirty diaper on, just out in the yard. Anybody could have picked me up. My aunt grabbed me, took me to my mom. My bonus dad that I have now, as soon as he saw me, he told my mom, he was like, I'll be back. He came back and my mom said he had everything for me, a whole wardrobe of stuff, everything that I needed for my little life to begin again. Sorry. So, okay, so from that point, although that had went on, um, I didn't really say anything until I was 6 because I was still trying to figure out, what had happened. I knew it wasn't right. And I was always like a smart little girl. I know now, like, I'll ask my mom certain things and she'll be like, you remember that? And I'm like, yeah. And it was the timeline. The reason why I can remember it is because it was the timeline that I had got touched and I was away from my mother. So it was right when my dad, actually, I think it was that day that my dad had beat my mom and took me because the police was coming and we were I remember we were in a bathroom and he calls me boo. And he had beat my mom up. My mom is holding me. He's cussing her out, but at the same time, the police is knocking at the door. And he's like, boo, they about to get me. They about to get me. The reason why he's saying that, he don't care that he beat my mom to a pulp. There's a bathtub full of cocaine where we're literally standing. So that's all I remember from that. I remember they did take him away. Of course, probably when he got out, he probably ended up, beating me, or I mean, beating my mom or whatever. And that's when he got me at that time. And I stayed that year with the Chester and my aunt and my grandmother. And my grandmother was on dialysis because this Chester kicked her kidneys in because he had beat her so bad. So really, I never saw my grandmother like get up, dance, get up, do any activities. My grandmother was always in the bed eating starch. I don't know if you guys ever like, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Oh, definitely. We're listening. We're listening.
Okay. I just want to
Tell
make
your
sure that you
story.
guys can hear me. And okay, so I don't know if you guys remember the box starch, but my grandmother ate box starch like by the boxes. And that's just my memory of her, with a headscarf on, just in a bed reading her books. My aunt said they was dirty, nasty books. Now, my aunt, which is another one of her daughters, is basically like the crazy aunt that everybody be like, oh, she's crazy, but she really be telling the truth. And she even comes with a glass eye, y'all, no lie. But she's like the family historian, and she's been around and she knows what has happened. So she's even, left her children around them to an extent that one of her daughters has the Chester's last name, which I'm still confused about, but whatever. Getting back to what what I left off on. I didn't say anything until I was 6 because the Chester's other son from the other relationship came over. He had to probably be about 17 or 18. He wasn't quite 20 yet. He was still in his teens. Okay, so after, I'm gonna back up a little bit. After the touching of me had happened, the Chester made a family announcement that now I need me, LEKECIA. I need a tree house. He announced it to the whole, to the little family, like my aunt, my grandmother, those women that mattered. Anybody else didn't matter to him. He knew he could control them. He was like, she needs a tree house. She's growing. We need a bigger place. So they moved to Compton, because at that point, they were still in Compton, but they just moved like to a house instead of like, my grandmother used to either manage or own the Greenleaf Motel in Compton. And so he was like, yeah, she needs a tree house. We need some more rooms. And so her cousins can come over and all of this stuff. Like, I'm his child, So they buy this house in Compton. There's a tree house in there. I loved my tree house. I loved going in my tree house. And then one day his son came into the tree house and I was sitting there and, I knew that the other stuff had happened to me, but, as a kid, you kind of just have to just be like, okay, what you do, So I was sitting in the tree house and I'm just minding my business, looking out the, because, the treehouse has the windows and I'm looking out the window and I sat down finally. He sits down and he takes out his eggplant and he's telling me to touch it and do this and do that. And by that point, I had wised up and I was like, no. And I ran down. I probably like jumped off because it was kind of high. It was kind of high up in the tree. But it was like a real life because this man could make anything. So I think the house already came with the tree house. But either way, I remember just getting out of there, like stranger danger, just go. And so nobody knew. I don't even think nobody was at home, strangely, because my grandmother used to always be there. So I don't know if my grandmother was in the house, in the bed, because she was always in the bed. So I don't know. No, matter of fact, my grandmother was still at that motel. We were down the street. Thank you, Faith. We were down the street from the motel. So it wasn't my grandmother, the Chester, and my aunt that moved into this house. It was the Chester and my aunt that moved into this house with the intent of them doing something to me specifically. So I remember my mom, my aunt. No, my mom wasn't there. It was just my grandmother was there that day. My grandmother was there. My grandmother used to have an oil lamp. I don't know if y'all remember, like the oil lamps, and it used to have the lady in the middle, and it used to come down and have water dripping or whatever. So she had one of those. She was sitting by like the chair or whatever, wrapped, like she had something wrapped around her legs or something like that. I don't know. I just remember that being over her head. And so I was sitting there with my sitting crisscross applesauce looking at cartoons. And so Chester was in there, my aunt who married the Chester, and my grandmother. And so I was sitting there and I just said nonchalantly as I'm watching the cartoons, Freeman, pull his eggplant out. And I stopped. I waited for a second to see if there would be any reaction, what happened? What did you say? And I think I might have said it again, louder, a little louder. Nothing. So then, and my biological father was in and out of jail, like just in and out of jail, going back and forth to the South. He fighting. He's hostile because, now that I look at it, hindsight is 2020. Who wouldn't be hostile? And I forgot to tell y'all that she was giving him heroin. My grandmother started giving my father heroin at 14. So that her and that man could do stuff to my father. That is how my father became a heroin addict. So, going back to me saying something at 6 in front of the TV and nobody saying anything. So everything went on as usual. Because I was going back and forth. Like I said, my mom, I didn't tell my mom. My mom didn't find out about any of this until I was in my teens, but my mother always knew about that man and all of that. My mother also went through her own abuse. So, by my father being bat crap crazy, him having a whole bunch of sisters and a whole bunch of brothers, and they fight one another, so they ain't gonna have no problem fighting you or your clan. Now, my clan, my mama's side was crazy, but they didn't really have her back like that. So I'm sure that my mother felt like she really didn't, have a choice in certain things. So my dad, my bonus dad, had his own set of problems going on, and they both tried to kind of monitor me, where I would be, or if they would let me, like, let's say they would let me go see another aunt or a cousin, I would still end up at the Chester's house. Sorry, YouTube. I would still always wind up there at the house in Compton. So so then let me see. By around that time, I guess my mom did get wind of it, because she really stopped me from like going over there. Or if I would go, she would be with me, like she wouldn't let me out of her sight. She would go with me. But around that time, this is in the 80s. Well, this was in the 70s or whatever, going into the 80s, because I was born in 74. So this is going into the 80s now. We starting to get, the white powder. Everybody's riding a white horse. It wasn't, crack yet, but everybody was riding a white horse. But of course, we already know, when you can't afford the powder, what you go to? You go to the Rockety Rock. So that's pretty much what happened, where my mom started dropping the ball. And I can't hate her or fault her, because I always, in my heart, understood in some way, shape, or form, God always gave me a compassion for my parents, because I have eyes. I was always a wise child, and I was always trying to put the puzzle pieces together on what kind of craziness, you know what I'm saying, was I living in. Like, is everybody's family like this? Like, grandma was with this man, and then auntie is married to him, and then you got, then he's making babies with my grandmother's kids, which is causing severe retardation in my aunt's kids, because I think that was his daughter mainly, that one of them, besides my aunt, the other one, that he was mating with, and one of her sons, mainly the firstborn, came out. We call him a Jaws. Like, he really can't communicate. Well, at that time, I felt like he really couldn't communicate, because from what I understand, I think he has a job or something now. So, honey, that's a whole nother testimony. But anyway, getting back to it. So, like I said, I really wasn't really around that much. But on the other spectrum of my life, my bonus father's mother, oh no, hold on. I'm going too far ahead of myself. When the white powder came in, it really messed up our communities. It really, really did a number on our families that we did have together. It really did a number on the men that were trying to be upstanding and take care of their families, that I saw the family units. Like, I've always been in a blended family, but most of the strong men that I've known, just like my bonus dad, he has never, ever, ever in my entire existence that I've known him treated me other than his blood. And I don't have a drip of his blood in me. Now, his mother was a different story. So in the 80s, when we had, when my mom and my bonus dad was together, my grandmother bought them a house in Compton. In Watts. So we lived in a house in Watts, And my mom and my dad, they was having their own issues because of the white powder and the side effects of it, and their own, stuff in their relationships and from previous marriages and all that. And so my bonus mom that's no longer here, that uh she was married to my bonus dad. She's my stepsister, my stepsister's mother. And her and my mom used to fight. They used to fight over my father, and she worked for Mattel.
So
And
wait,
when I
so your father had like a polygamous situation, or was it just
both of
like
them
you
did,
could say
both of them did,
bonus?
both of them did at one point. Both of my dad, but my biological father and my bonus dad, both of them did at a certain point. Yes. It wasn't, I don't know if they really considered it, because they, shoot, if I'm born in the 70s, they came from that hippie era and all of this other era and stuff like that, but they had their own agreements and being adults and realizing, hey, sometimes this doesn't work, but then sometimes I'm still kind of pissed about how it ended, or we got kids or whatever, and it spills into the next relationship and all of that. Because my grandmother, his mother, would call my mother all kind of names, thinking that my mother broke them up. But from my bonus mother's mouth, before she even passed, well before she passed, has told me, no, baby, I was coming out the telly and with my own boo thing and saw you and saw your mama and Al, because that's how real we keep it in our family. We, is to a certain extent, well, no, on that side, yeah, like my dad, my bonus dad, like he keeps it real. His mama is, she was very hard on me, but she kept it real. There was a lot of things, but because she wanted her son to have the perfect life, because she was competing with the my bonus mom's, her mom and her family. So she wanted to be the perfect, I want my son to have the perfect life with the perfect wife and the perfect daughter. I don't want you to come in with your daughter and, create no mess. But it was God's will, because they created my sister Honesty out of that love. But before Honesty was born, my bonus mom, which is my stepsister's mom, and my mother was still in love with the same man. They had just freshly got a divorce, and my mom was in the picture, and they were fighting at times. And but she even became the best of friends with my mother, and they rolled that thing out to the end. They rolled
So,
that thing
so
out
what
to
does
the
that
end.
make you feel about polygamy nowadays?
I've had
This new
polygamy.
uprise in
I've
polygamy.
had polygamous relationships, and my parents know it, and they love the man that I've had this relationship with, and they know that that man loves me. He is married to a woman that looks exactly like me right now in Vegas, and my parents know it, and he knows it, and his family know it.
So when you think about polygamy, do you think of it all as one household, or is it more like
Um, that is one contingent that at first, me being narrow minded to the point where I cared more about what my family was going to think, mainly my sisters at the time, even though everybody knew. But I was like the Cinderella of the family. Everybody's always talking about, what is LEKECIA gonna do, what's she doing, what's she doing. Even when I'm down, when I'm up, it don't matter. They want to know what I'm doing. And
so are you
it
guys are close knit now, or is it more like
I'm
still separate?
getting I'm getting one, and I am going. I wrote my sister a song just because I want her to know I love you so much. Like, I sacrificed a lot of my life taking the abuse from her grandmother, telling me that I was less than, that I was tramps, like my mother was a tramp. Don't bring no babies in her house. All types of stuff, hitting me, beating me. My family, my blood family from my mother lived. When I say I rode my bike down there, that's how close it was. By the time I got back and she got off of work, I got my behind beat, and I was on punishment for 2 months. And I was told to never go down there and see my family. And I was torn away from my cousins that I grew up with. Me and my cousins didn't have anything when our parents was on drugs. We had each other. We had to
go to the park and eat school lunches. We would swim. We would eat fruit off the trees. We was living life because all we had was each other. My great grandmother that raised my mom and my uncle, and she was old. She mixing up sugar with the salt with the washing powder. She see now,
Right.
but we
So,
made sure that we watched over each other. You know.
right. So this was like what I would say from childhood to your teens.
Yeah,
Explain how
so
your teenage
I
years.
got to my grand. I was with, okay, so just what I just said as far as being around my great grandmother, because my our house in Watts caught fire. My grandmother, the wicked grandmother, I'm gonna call her that for right now. She had just bought me a brand new wardrobe because we had a very nice house in Watts. We had, remember I always talk about the album room. That's the house that we had the album room in. So there, like, you walk in the house, you go to the right, there's a small room, there's nothing but records and record players. You take two steps, there's my room. Then to the left is the living room. You go through, just walk a couple of steps, that's the kitchen. There's a door to the left, to the right, that's my parents' room. And then off to like straight ahead is a porch, like, for us to do like, to like storage. And then we had our bathroom. We had a huge backyard, a lot of land, and our house caught fire when my parents separated. But at this point, my grandmother was already taking me out of school, checking me into the school by her house. My mother used to help me with my homework. My mother used to make sure that I put my clothes on right. You know how when your mama help you put on your socks and she tell you, you make sure you get that toe right and the edge, the heel. You line it up just right. You put your bobby socks and that kind of stuff. Like, my mom was very attentive to me. My mother never made, my parents, period, even my bonus mom, they, after a while, went besides their selves and said, this is for the kids. My father, my bonus father, told my mother, I don't want you to work. I want you to focus on our family. And that's exactly what she did before honesty even came into the picture. And that's why honesty came into the picture, if you get what I'm saying. Because she did what he asked and he gave her a baby. And that's how honesty was born. But my mom always dressed me and Dana like my bonus mom worked for Mattel, so we got all of the toys before any of the kids got toys. We tested those toys out for y'all. Yes, we did. Yes, we did, and had a ball. Okay, but even though my bonus mom was still an addict, and my mom, but she would go and get my mom and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna get the kids. Clean yourself up or whatever," or she would get her and, have her dry out for a couple of days at her house. And then my grandmother would drop me off at my bonus mom's house, just thinking that I'm going to be over there. But she would tell her she's on punishment. She can't use the phone. She damn sure can't go down the street to her people's house. But little did she know that God had an angel right there, a earth angel for me and my bonus mom. Every single time that she would dot that door, my mom would either come walking out or my mom would come walking up. Every time. That woman tried to tell me my mother abandoned me. My mother did. After so long, she forced my mother to give up rights to me. And then would tell me every day, I ain't getting no money from you for you. So whatever I do for you, you better be grateful. Now, my bonus dad loves his mama. He know how his mama is. When my dad picked me up to even take me there permanently, he called me. I mean, he came over to my aunt's house and he said, "Hey, baby girl." He calls us Funny Face. He said, "Hey, Funny Face, you want to go live with your sister?" And I was like, "Yes," because I love my sister, Honesty. I didn't know the hell that I would experience for 3 years. I went there at 13.
Wow.
I left.
So now you're at 13. So from everything that you've discussed from this until this point, that was before 13 and everything that
Yes.
you experienced. So now you're 13 and you move in with your sister. So what happened?
So I'm 13. I moved with my grandmother. The first thing she said to me, "Don't bring no babies in this house." Then she looked at my clothes. Now, my aunt, I'm going to tell you this. I was so offended, and my aunt would probably slap the hell out of her. She said, yeah, you coming in here with these rags, I'm gonna have to replace them. Baby, let me tell you something. My aunt was a background dancer for Tina Turner. My aunt was a baller shot caller. My aunt had a husband that couldn't even talk. He won the lotto and gave her half his money. We are blessed and highly favored. Don't ever try to stunt on me and my family. That's how I came in that family, because I already knew that I was outed from young, you know? So at 13, what you finna tell me, lady? I'm only here because my daddy asked me to and I want to spend time with my sister.
So hold on real quick. So so I thought that you moved in with your sister. You said you moved with your sister's grandmother.
My sister, remember I used to tell you, I told you that my grandmother would take me out of school and place me in the school by her house and be like, you do your homework and all that. She was also taking, before she even started doing that, when Honesty was born for them. She was not born for my mama or our family. As soon as Honesty was able to be cleared to come out of the atmosphere, probably before hell, they had Honesty at their house, their family. Oh, she ain't got no hair. No, my sister got long, thick hair down her back now. But when she was a baby, she didn't have no hair. Oh, she the cousins. These are my older cousins. Oh, she ain't got no hair in the back. I'm gonna have to do something with that, and make sure her hair grow. Everything is nice, nasty. And I'm sitting here as a child, just intaking all of this. Like I would have to go across the street to her sister's house, to our big mama house, which is, I guess, her grandmother house, and the same treatment. I gotta sit in a cold kitchen. Ain't no kids around. Then they want to pile food on your plate. That kind of foolishness that Black people need to stop. I don't care if a child come in your house. I don't care where that child came from. You better bless God that a child dotted your doorstep in your presence, because that is God in the flesh walking. Kids are harmless. They don't know nothing about this adult mess. And to mess up a child,
they're innocent. They're innocent. Yes,
they're innocent. They're innocent souls. And to mess up a child like that, God don't like that. God don't take kindly to that. So anyway, back to the story. Before I move on, my mom had another child. She thought it was my father's, and she named him exactly after my bonus dad. They didn't claim him. My dad said he wasn't his. Okay. So my brother stayed with my aunt that I was staying with, where my dad came to get me, asked me did I want to stay with my aunt. So, dang it, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to get back to it. Holy Spirit, bring it back to me. So that was that, of course. So that was talk already, because, oh my gosh, she named him by him, and that ain't even blah, 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 blah. So, it was just basically a lot of trauma because of that. So when I went there, it was always like, this is our daddy. This is our grandmother from my sisters, this is our family. You may be my sister because we got a mama, and you may be my sister because I'm her sister, but this ain't none of your daddy, and this ain't none of your granny. And then the grandmother would basically say the same thing. And the reason why my sisters did it was because of what? My grandmother did it. And my grandmother and her sisters were about, I'll say 6'3" to 6'4", size 13, 14 shoes. They worked at airplane companies, hauling airplane parts, and toted pew-pews, big ones. So nobody really messed with them.
Now, how tall are you?
Me, I am barely 5'1".
Wow. Okay. So a lot of this was like
at
a lot of
that time I was 4'11", because I stayed 4'11" for like a whole long time. So I'm sorry, I got it. Hold on for 1 second. My mom, I was talking about my brother. So when my mother was on drugs and we were, being watched by my grandmother, I wasn't in school. I was 10. My brother's 10 years apart from me. He was a newborn. My mom used to be out there out of her mind. So I would be at home hiding from the social worker, trying to make sure we didn't get taken. The neighbors would tell me when the social worker would be coming, and my grandmother's house was literally right in the back, so I can just pick my brother up and just run to my grandmother's house and act like, I've been there the whole time instead of our apartment. And I didn't want them to go into our apartment anyway, because there were dirty diapers in the room. It was such a vast shock to my system from me coming. I love where I was born. So being raised in Compton, Watts, or whatever, you are born in your environment and you're used to your environment. And we had pride in Compton and Watts and all of that stuff, especially coming at that time with the Watts Tower and Black Power and all of that stuff. So it was never, never, never no shade to be like, oh, I'm from Compton. We was proud to be from Compton. So when my house got burnt down and I lost my friends, I lost my school, I lost my clothes, my room was decked out in strawberry shortcake, I lost my whole existence as a child and lost my childhood. And now I'm running from, social workers because I don't want her to see our dirty house, diapers and everything all over the place, and clothes all over the place, and, mattresses on the floor and all kind of stuff. And also I didn't want to be separated from my brother, but I was craving to go to school. I remember making a promise to myself one day. I guess this day we must have had cable, and it wasn't like, it was off and on, stuff would get cut off, but of course it get cut back on or whatever. So one of these times Madonna had came on, and I had just had built up my collection, y'all, of my little Madonna, bracelets. And her video came on, and I had promised myself, I said, when I get big enough, I'm gonna buy me a whole bunch of these bracelets. I just started in my head listing things that when I got old enough to do something about it, I would reward myself back my childhood. So when I got to my grandmother's house, she did not make things easy. I had to clean, even when there was no dirt. I was always on punishment. I was never allowed to go spend a night in nobody's houses, which my sisters were always allowed to go spend a night. My sister Dana, she had it good because her grandmother that our grandmother was competing against, her grandparents lived around the corner. They owned land where her mother and her uncle lived, but also around the corner from where we were actually at, the house that we were growing up at. And so when my grandmother would pull that bull swanky, she'd be like, I'm going to my granny house. Or she'd be like, I'm about to call my mama to come get me. But I couldn't do that. And Honesty was getting treated like a princess because she's Princess Honesty. So they didn't have a problem. But me, I'm getting, you whore, you tramp, you this, you that. I'm sure she's called me some bitches and funky motherfuckers a couple of times. Excuse my French. I'm sorry, guys. But I mean, just the way that she would talk to me. I remember one time my friends, we were all in a den. Now, my grandfather built the house that we grew up in, and when she married him, he had huge jackrabbits and huge chickens. She made him get rid of those chickens, get rid of those jackrabbits, and build onto the house. So we had one portion of the house, because I think it started out being what, let me see, 1, 2, 3. It was 3 portions of the house. Then she had them add on. No, I'm sorry. It was only 2 portions of the house. Then she had them add on another portion. Then she had them add on the den. Then she had them add on an extra den to that. But there's a space for the garden. And on the side of the house is where they have, peppers and all of that stuff. My grandparents are from the South. So, but yeah. So, it was just, I couldn't do nothing right. And then because I was out of school when she did get me, when my dad did take me there, my sisters was in Catholic school, and she was like, you so dumb, you probably can't even, pass the damn test. So they gave her an option at the Catholic school that we went to, that she can give me a tutor and I can still be in the grade that I'm supposed to be in.
How old were you at this time?
I was supposed to go into the 6th grade, Genesis. She made me stay back in the 5th grade and told them no. Now I'm at this school with my sister. Now my stepsister. Now, I Oh, and honesty wasn't going there yet, I don't think. But I'm at the school with my sister. I'm 3 months older than my sister, mind you. I'm in December. When I turn 50 this year, she turns 50 in March. So not only did I lose my friends, like I said, when I lost my house fire, when I lost our stuff in the house fire, the house itself, and I lost my friends, I had a best friend that lived on that block. She stole my best friend from me, and my best friend went to that school. So here I am. I'm in a class that's below me. My teacher thought everything that my grandmother said was law. She was going around quoting my grandmother. So I'm sitting at this Catholic school, and I'm like, everybody keeps saying, "You Dana's little sister, huh?" Now, what I'm gonna say? What are you gonna say as a 5-year-old, knowing that you're a fish out of water? You at this new school, everybody knows her. What you gonna correct it, and then you're gonna have to be like, well, how are y'all sisters? Because we, of course, eventually had to, explain that. But so I'm struggling in school, and that's just making my teacher come in more because I'm struggling in school. But I turned them lemons into lemonade. When I say to tell y'all, this is why I love music so much. Every time we had a school dance, that little school was in a circle, and I was in the middle dancing my tiny little tail off to every cameo song that was ever made that was suitable for that Catholic school. And then my friends started joining in with me and dancing. But that was like my only relief to the hell that I was living at home. I'm gonna take a break for a second. So
I just want to show something real quick because I would just want to show how resilient you are and how beautiful you are. Now she says she's coming up on 50, or she is 50. Look at how beautiful this young lady is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 50 the
She,
day after Christmas.
she don't look like her
I'll
problems.
be 50
She
the
don't
day
look
after.
like her struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
She's
you.
absolutely gorgeous. Look at her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's been through hell and back, but she's beautiful. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
she's beautiful. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold
I would
on.
never think that
Oh,
she was.
wait.
You
I'm
can't be
sorry.
thinking.
Go
Don't forget
ahead.
if she's going to take a break. Don't forget to play a non copyright song, DJ.
But I just want to show y'all how beautiful this young lady is, and show
Mhm.
that
Beautiful.
she's not what her problems look like. You know what I'm saying? You
I
go
just
through stuff, and look at how full of life she is. She's not a person that's over here letting whatever it is that she went through. And I love that dog, and I'm mad because you can have pets and I can't. But I'm not gonna say
That's
nothing.
Gucci.
yeah,
I'm
that's
jealous.
Gucci.
I'm jealous because she could have pets. Because my pet Gucci would have probably passed away by now. Because
Oh my God.
I suck at pets. But our chicken passed away, y'all.
Gucci,
But it's
look,
all,
Gucci just
but
jumped on the
our
bed and
new pet
said,
then gave us some eggs. I'm sorry. I'm tired. But Gucci is always in the thing, jumping
Gucci,
up. Like
Gucci,
every time she do her
Gucci,
thing, Gucci is
Gucci.
like, yay, yeah.
All right, DJ, let's play a little music break so she can gather herself.
We gonna play a music break.
Mission, the mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life, making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition.
That's our new little song, by the way. Let us know if y'all like that. Okay, I'm about to play it again. Let us know in the chat.
it's
Give us a
beautiful.
like.
It's beautiful.
Man, okay, I want to play it again because I believe that this is our
Put a
new.
one in the chat if you like the song.
The mission, the mission. trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay, back to it. Look at how beautiful she is. Look at how beautiful this young lady is. She says she in her 50s, y'all. I can't tell. I can't
Genesis, don't push
tell.
me.
I
Genesis,
can't tell,
Genesis,
child. But it's
Genesis. Don't push me to the 50s. I will be 50 in December. December 26th, baby. I'm trying to get the youth back. But Jesus, now you trying to push me in the 50s.
oh, you
I'm
said you
just
were.
reaching 50.
Oh, okay. They don't look. I'm just trying to say is that even if it's in December, September, you still looking good, honey. Look at this. Look, come on
Thank you,
now. Come
girl.
on now. Come on.
Thank you.
Come with it. Come on with it, child. Hold on. Let me find. Look, let me just zoom in on that real quick. Come on, y'all. Look at how beautiful this young lady is, and she been through all this stuff.
Thank you
She
so
she
much.
don't look like her problems, y'all. She don't look like what she went through, y'all. So this is a testament of, you know what, you might be going through some stuff, but honey, you don't have to make it define you. All right. So let's get into, you went, so you became a fashion designer, and that's, I think you're
Wait
wearing
a minute. I want to tell a little bit more
you
of
wearing
this
some of your
because
stuff right
it's
here.
very important. You
Okay.
hear me?
So
Okay,
okay.
so at this time, by this point, I'm about to be 16, right? So now, mind you, even though my grandmother would say all this stuff about don't come on with no babies or whatever, she did let me date. She did, under her supervision and my grandparents' supervision, and cousins and stuff like that. We have a big family. Matter of fact, my grandmother, her sister's house is literally right across the street from her house. And so any of the guys that I dated, they were like, in the neighborhood, the families knew each other and stuff like that. So, right, right, sugar. So, um, I would, okay, let me calm down and slow down. We were not going to church at first. Okay. I will say this. My grandmother was not even caring about us going to church. The gag is at the corner of our house, where at the corner where our house is, well, our house is not on the corner, but at the corner, there is a church. And so us, the neighborhood kids, because it was like a gang of us, like, oh my God, in the 80s too. Oh my God, shut up. But anyway, we would play stickball in the church's parking lot because the church was huge and it was so many of us. It basically held all of us and stuff, and we can play, and our parents could see us from the porch. When the street light came on, we didn't have too far to go, and I wasn't allowed to come off the street, anyway. And if I came off the street, I was only allowed to go around one corner, come back, and go around the other corner and come back. And I was, like I said, I was in my teens because they wanted to make sure that I did not do no detour and go back down there and take an adventure to my blood family. So I had boyfriends and stuff like that. My grandparents even let them go on camping trips, fishing. Well, we didn't really go camping, but we went we did go camping because we had motorhomes, we own boats. My family is well off. I don't want to say we wealthy or we rich, but well off. And so my grandparents always owned boats as long as I can remember. Always own multiple motorhomes, multiple boats, and car vehicles, and blah blah blah. So I remember that my older cousin, kept fussing at me, telling me that I was color struck. You so color struck. All you like is these little yellow boys. No, the yellow boys liked me, and I wasn't paying no attention to them. I was like one of the boys. For one, who can be feminine when a woman telling you don't be bringing no babies and you just trying to be a teenager? I'm over here looking at the East Coast stuff at on our big old screen TV, getting the dances and wearing my MC Hammer pants and my polka dots because Kwame, and me and my sister rhyming to Eric B and Rakim and all of this. It's a vibe in my head, but she killing my vibe. Like Kendrick said, it don't kill my vibe. It don't kill my vibe. That's how I used to be like every day. Like, it don't kill my vibe. Like, I started learning Spanish just to go off because nobody understood what I was saying because I had to get crafty. I got slapped one time though for it because she figured it out because I guess my little face was saying it all. And she was like, oh, I got you one. I may not know what you're saying, but I know what you're saying. Smack. So anyway, by the time my cousin started talking about, you're color struck, there was this Jerry curl wearing dark skinned dude that hung and grew up. He grew up on our block. I grew up with him. I knew who he was. I wasn't really interested in him. We really grew up like as kids together. He's a few years older than me, but I was like, yeah, that's Michael, whatever. I was interested in Justin, honey, that came to me and was like, I'm Justin, T. I like pizza. He said he was Italian because he's Italian and black. He liked pizza and something else, but his little swag, I was like, what? And he was new in the town. Come on, don't get the girl like that. So I wasn't tripping off of this darker skinned young man, but I felt like I was pressured into it. And so when I started to date him, my grandmother would do stuff like, you better tell her about her grades because I told y'all, how it was. So by this point, I'm in the 9th grade. I'm in an all-girls school. She's threatening. I wanted to become an actress. And she was like, hell no. Nope. I'm glad that she did say no, though, because now, hindsight is 2020. But I absolutely, that was my goal, is to become an actress because I needed to get out everything that was happening to me, on a larger scale. And so she was threatening me and she was like, I'm going to take you out of this Catholic school I'm paying all this money for. And I was just like, whatever. And so she took me out, and my grandfather, old school, he don't know. My aunt, my cousin, my older cousin, she worked at a middle school. My grandfather so old, he don't know he's supposed to take me to the high school. He taking me to my aunt's job, to the middle school. I said, Papa, you can't take me here. I already graduated 8th grade. This school starts. So he ended up taking me to Lock High. I went to Lock High. And unfortunately, I was kind of scared to go there because a girl had got actually assaulted there and left there and was, alive. And so all my cousins went there. I was happy and excited to go there, but I was scared at the same time because I was like, what happened to that girl? Nobody to this day, I think, don't even know who that Jane Doe is and what happened to her. But anyway, I go there. I feel right on in because most of the people that are at Locke, I've met through them coming to the Catholic schools because Catholic schools was like popping. So even the public school kids would come to our school and hang out. You know what I'm saying? So I knew a lot of people there. So I feel right at home. And I knew if anybody bothered me, I had my little big brother or whatever, he or let the whole school know, this my little sister, don't bother her. But also I had family that went there. So people knew, So anyway, y'all, I kid you not. My grandfather would drop me off at school. This started probably like 2 to 3 weeks into me going. He would drop me off at school. My boyfriend would pick me right up. And then he wouldn't drop me off until it was time for me to get picked up from my grandfather. And I was literally at the corner of my house, inside of his house, his grandmama's house, doing the bang, chicka, bang, bang. But yet my grandmother is trusting this man with me, this young man with me, because he's a couple of years older than me, telling him about my grades, shaming me. And I already was going through my own stuff because he was banging my cousin's best friend, and she was telling that he was banging some girl at his school because he went to a high school because he hadn't just yet graduated. He was a senior, and he was getting ready to graduate and work for Channel 5. So all of this is going on. He's manipulating me. My grandmother is assisting it. I'm unhappy. I'm like, at this point, you know, I'm over her and I'm over him. And I meet up my grandfather and my pastor both knew this man that used to race cars with my pastor. And there used to be guys, high roller, high roller, you know what I'm saying? Dudes that would come on my block, and they would know my family. They would know all of the dudes on my block because they was rolling. And he was A1. I'll say that. He was the top of the line. And so he hollered at me. He was in a Corvette, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "What's up?" You know, I'm on my way to the church because that's the only place I can go. And he wanted to holler at me. And I was like, "Well, you better hurry up for my grandmother to see you, my grandfather to see you." So he wrote his number down on $100 bill, thinking it was going to impress me. I wasn't impressed. And I took it and I went to church. And then later on, probably when I went to like my dad's house, because my dad stayed off of Crenshaw. So anytime I would go to my dad's house, I had freedom. So I probably called him there or whatever, or when nobody was at home for a second. And we started linking up. My uncle got word of it, told my grandmother, and I'm just getting ready to be 16. I turned 16. Yeah, I had turned 16. And so next thing I know, I'm sorry. I introduced him because my grandfather loved me so much. And even though he knew that his wife wasn't right, he tried to accommodate me in some type of way. And I'm not going to give my grandfather a pass now that I'm looking back at it. But I can say that he at least just tried to give me some type of reprieve, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word I'm saying. But because I trusted my grandfather, I introduced the high roller to my grandfather. Because for one, I don't know you like that, and I ain't going nowhere without somebody knowing. You know what I'm saying? And seeing your face. I already knew that the older guy knew him and my pastor knew him, but I wanted my grandfather to see who I was talking to. I didn't even leave with him that day, but I wanted my grandfather to meet him. And this idiot come shirt open, chest hair all over the place. And I'm trying to tell my grandfather, he had long hair because he's Belizean and like some other like Puerto Rican or whatever, and black. I tried to tell my grandfather, this man, they got full beard, like he's Saddam Hussein, and chest hair that he 18. My grandfather didn't pay me no mind. He introduced, spoke to the man, let the man go about his business. So I guess maybe my grandfather may have told my uncle, or my uncle saw it. And so my grandmother got wind of it. I'm on the phone the next day, and I get how when you, back in the day, they have to do the emergency breakthrough if you just got a one-way or even a two-way, and like you've got a two-way and you tying up those lines. My bonus mom that my dad's currently married to chimed in. It was a emergency call breakthrough and said, Mama Cora said, don't leave that house. I was like, all right. So at this point, I'm 16. I'm thinking, she ain't finna put her hands on me no more. I'm tired of getting beat. I'm tired of being put on punishment. And if I stay here one more day, I'm going to off myself. So this going to be the day this all going to go down. Because whatever. I'm over it. So, because she was always bullying me, just bully. Even my grandfather used to have to be like, Cora, that's it. Because he was a big old man, he like put his foot down or slap his big old burly hands on the table, and she'll stop for 2.5 seconds and then start right back up cussing at me or cussing at everybody or just cussing in general. And it's just like, nobody wants to hear that all day. Nobody wants to hear that all day. When my grandmother ain't at home and it's just me and my grandfather, even though my sisters get on my nerves, I used to have so much peace because I could be in my own world watching that big screen TV, looking at stuff that the East Coast is doing, and building my life in my head on how I want it to be like it is now. That's what I was doing when I was 16, about to take myself off this planet. And so when she came home, no, I'm sorry. When she came home, she didn't say nothing to me because she gonna make me suffer, right? I didn't give two F's. I was like, let it be what it's gonna be. Draw the line. Draw the line in the sand, son. I'm prepared for this day. Because what you ain't finna ever do is keep talking bad about my mama. She ain't never did nothing to you. You ain't gonna never talk bad about me. You ain't gonna never talk bad about any of us that got to do with my bloodline and that ain't did nothing to you. Because you want to be faking and fighting and putting on a facade. I saw right through her and she hated it. Because when you call me a tramp, if you raise me, what does that make you? Ladies, put in a one if that makes you a tramp in the chat. If you raised by someone and they calling you that, what does that make them? Because you are a reflection of what you raised, right? They are a reflection of you. So if I'm a tramp, because I wasn't one before my mama handed it over to you, or you really took me and bulldog your way into, that part, bully my mother, and she's put pew-pews on my mother and me when I was little on my aunt's property that I just walked on the other day. When I got up there, matter of fact, I kid y'all, no lie, I stood on that porch the other day when I walked up, and I was like, dang, things look so different from this point of view. But I can remember her coming out of her sister's house with a barrel, double barrel. You get off this property and you and yours. You ain't welcome. But guess who welcomed us? Her son, her dear beloved son. And what you ain't finna do is mess with his. Even though he loved his mother, and I don't think he really knew how to address that, or maybe he was scared that the benefits that she was giving him, helping him out, was going to cease and desist because he stood up to her. I don't know. All I knew is God had my back through and through. And this day I was done. I had already told him I was done. If he didn't do nothing about it, I was drawing a line, and I meant that ish. The next time something popped off, I was locked, loaded, and ready to go. Laser focus. What's up? So she gets up because I'm thinking she gonna go to work the next day. Oh no, she didn't go work. Who this man? You know who he is. Ask Mrs. Such and such. No, I'm asking you. I said, I'm not telling you that. For one, anybody that's from the streets and ain't from the streets, when you in that lifestyle, I wasn't in a lifestyle, he was. But if you top, I ain't saying shit. And you know that. I'm not bringing heat to my whole entire family, and all our block was hot anyway. The feds was all up and down our block because they was getting the people that was getting stuff from him. Knocking them off one by one. I was seeing mothers getting houses getting raided because of that connection. So you think I'm finna bring that heat on my family? No. If you want to talk to that man, you talk to that man. You have the men, go talk to that man. Don't come talking to me with that mess. So she was like, you gonna tell me I'm gonna beat your ass? Like, you ain't putting your hands on me today. I'll leave this house. Where you got to go? You ain't got nowhere to go. And that's when I said because she was like, you can't. She told me she had forbid me that I could go. It was not an option, even though I should have told her take her option and shove it where the sun don't shine. But I was still trying to have some respect and decorum. Plus, I knew she had pew-pews, and I didn't want to lose my life. Because the type of family that I got on that side would have covered it up. I'm a nobody to them. Except for my bonus dad. I'm a nobody to them. And I say that with my whole entire chest. So anyway, she thought she was going to put hands on me. I said, I'm going to my daddy's side then. And guess where that was? With the Chester and my aunt. She said, you ain't taking a damn thing. You gonna leave with the clothes you got on your back. I said, that's fine. I don't want nothing from you. If I can have my sanity, that's all I need, baby girl. Because one of us gonna go. In a way that I don't need no smoke coming to me because there's only one of me and it's a whole bunch of y'all, I'm gonna leave peacefully. But let me tell you something, honey. You ain't never putting your hands on me. So I left. They called my, they called Chester, my aunt. They called my aunt, is what they did. They called my aunt, which is my father's younger sister. She's the one that's married to Chester. She go and get me immediately because anytime, anywhere, any place, when it comes to me, because I'm the firstborn in that family, as sick as they are, they're going to drop everything for me, and especially because they know what they want to do with me. So I go over there. She decides to relinquish my clothes probably after a week or so. And so the little dark guy that I was dating, I'm begging him every day, like, please, because he was getting ready to go off to college. And I'm like, please take me with you. Nah, he ain't trying to take me with him. He broke up with me. He had my grandmother and my whole family thinking he was going to take me to prom. And the Negro broke up with me the day before his prom, talking about I was cheating and kissing a boy on the bleachers, where if anybody knows Lock High, there's a gate, but you can see on the bleachers, like all the way around. Like if you go on one side, this side, you can see all on the bleachers. Why would I be doing that knowing how that dude was? I knew it was playing me, but I didn't really want him at the time. But you know what I'm saying? The fact of you trying to manipulate me. You know what I'm saying? But this was at the same time, right. This happened right when I met the high roller. So I really wasn't tripping that much, but I was, hurt because he had my family getting ready to buy, like my dad was ready to go and pick out my prom stuff. Matter of fact, no, it was probably a week or so, or I don't know. I don't even remember how long it was because I either had already addressed and my grandmother was like, you can just wear it because it's not your prom. Yeah, it was the graduation. For my sister graduation, I was going to wear that dress to the prom, but he had no intentions on taking me to the prom. He was trying to mentally manipulate me, and because he had a girlfriend in his high school. They prom king and queen. How he gonna bring me? The girl on the corner was telling the truth. So anyway, back to the story. I ended up with, Chester and my aunt. And when I go there, again, same scenario. They're in a one bedroom. They're in a one bedroom. This time around, my mom is basically trying to get sober and do the best she can. And I went, my mom came to visit me. My grandmother had passed away by this point because, her kidneys was jacked up because that dude had beat her so bad and kicked her kidneys in. Her kidneys finally failed on her. So when I moved in with them, right when my grandmother passed away. And so my biological dad was in prison. He gets wind, then I'm with Chester and his sister. He's calling collect on the phone at their place in Long Beach, and he's like, what the F you doing here? I'm gonna kill that ninja. And I said, how you gonna kill anybody and you locked up? I said, you just do what you do and handle what you handle and let me handle this and get home so you can do something about this. So he was like, all right, boo. That's just like how we talk to each other, because I've always had to parent my parents. No, I don't talk like that to my mama because my mama will slap fire out of my mouth. So I have a very different rapport with my mother than I do with my father, but still, all in all, I've still had to parent my parents. So anyway, my dad's like pissed. He can't do nothing about it. And so my mom decides she was going to stay the night. That guy that I was dating, his last night in Cali, he picks me up. He gets me drunk. I'm crying. I'm sad because I'm going into this dangerous situation that I'm about to or could be harmed. And even though honestly I wasn't trying to be with that guy, but I figured if he take me out of town, you know what I'm saying, then I could just figure it out from there. I really wasn't thinking at the time that I could have went to the courts and asked for emancipation. I wish I would have known about that because I would have done a lot of things different. But, you know, maybe I wouldn't have had the same testimony. I don't know. Anyway, so he drops me off and I don't want them to know that I'm drunk. So they were in the living room talking, my mom, the Chester, and my aunt. Because of course everybody knows Chester, everybody know the deal, but you know, it's normal. So hey, whatever. That's how it is in that family, in our family. And so even the only ones that don't like or not used or weren't used to it being normal in the family was my cousin, which is my aunt, my aunt's daughter. She's like we're the same age, so we're pretty much born like at the same time. Like my aunt had me, I mean my aunt had my cousin and then my mom had me or vice versa. In either way, we're basically almost like twin cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like we're like sisters more than we're like cousins. And so we always, when stuff used to be happening or going down, we always used to just be eyeing each other and, you know, like elbowing each other, like, you see this, you know, or whatever. And probably sometimes when we were little, we would probably like have our little kid conversation about it, but we didn't really, we knew something was up, but as we grew older, we started to understand more, of course. So I go into the room or whatever. Thank you, Julie. I go into the room because I if y'all ever drank Cisco, I don't know if y'all ever had Cisco before, but that is
Bro,
crap.
I had Cisco. I had a moment when I was 13 with Cisco where they had to call the ambulance and everything. Like I skipped school and drank Cisco, and that shit blacked me the hell out.
Yeah.
I was all the way blacked out. They
So
had to call the
I had drank that. So I didn't want, you know, my mom, especially not, you know, Chester and my aunt to know that I was lit. And so they was like, come
And
here,
hold
come here.
on, Cisco back then was some strong stuff. I don't think
Yes.
Cisco now is the same as Cisco then. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't
Because
know, because I never
Cisco
touched
back
it.
then would F you up.
I never touched it after that. So anyway,
Me
um,
neither.
I was like, hi, you know, I was just like, hi, you know, and then I just went in the room. I just hurried up and went in the room, shut the door. But you know, if a teenager's doing that, what the hell? Because I'm usually like, hi, auntie, hi, mommy. You know, I would call him Uncle Stan, because you know, I because it is what it is. Like it is what it is. It's not like you're gonna be like, oh my god, you're a Chester. It is what it is. And so I would be like, hey, Uncle Stan, or whatever. So anyway, that night that I'm in there asleep, Stan decides again, hey, announcement to my mom and my aunt. She needs a bigger room now that she's staying. I mean, we need a bigger place because she needs her own room now that she's staying here. And yeah, we're gonna get a bigger place. We're gonna start looking for a bigger place. So that's what they did. I enrolled in Jordan High School in Long Beach, Jordan. And my cousin went to Wilson. And so I started making friends, which I'm so glad that I'm so glad. I'm so glad for my friends. I'm so glad.
Oh wow.
I'm
You
sorry,
know
my
what?
friends are no longer here. Both of my friends died. My first friends that I ever made at that school, their sisters, is three of them, and both of them are dead. I mean, sorry, unalived. So I'm just saying, like, you just don't know how you can affect someone and help someone in their life when you're going through, especially being teenagers. You don't know how you being there for someone, just letting them be in your house and you know, and they were going through their own stuff, you know, so it wasn't like but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna stop my crying right now and give testimony. Her brothers dance to this day. They're connected to Destiny Child. When Destiny Child came into the picture, they was background dancing for them, because even though we was in harsh. Let me tell you, we would be in there singing Mary J. Blige. We was ditching. We wasn't really going to school. We'll go to school, see our peoples, go to a couple of classes, and then we out of there. We down the street at their house making we we made a potato any and every way you think you can make a potato, baby. We made that potato in that house, trying to figure it out as young ladies how to make it in this world. And we had a crew. So we had a crew, and the guys, they were called, don't laugh, y'all, the Booty Boys, but all of them could sing. All of them could sing, including my one friend, her brother, and her cousins and stuff like that. So like we had it was like a fraternity and a sorority with us. So like when I came to the school, they didn't know what to make of me. If y'all watch some of like my outfit of the days and I got suits and ties on, that's how I came to school. I came to school with heels on. I was so advanced. For one, I was still in a grade lesser than me because that never got fixed. But I was just like, hey, I'm gonna make the most of it. Anywhere that I went, I turned lockout. I turned Long Beach Jordan. Now I had so much fun, but at the same time, when I'm going home, I'm hearing, he's telling me he's, the Chester, because we did get a bigger place or whatever. So let's say it's time to cook dinner, right? So he's teaching me how to cook, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. I love salmon croquettes. And he was teaching me how to make salmon croquettes. And it's a very famous singer. I'm not going to say her name. Everybody knows this woman. Everybody loves this woman. Everybody loves this woman. Everybody loves this woman. And he sat there and told me some stuff that a 16-year-old should have never known about a woman's lower regions, and that he should have never said to me. And I was like, I didn't even know what that was. Like at the time. Hell, I didn't even know I could do that until my damn 40s. Shit. So, but that's the kind of
what?
stuff.
Hold on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our time with this. We're gonna take a little break right here. We're gonna take a little. We're just gonna take a little break, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna mute up.
Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh. Making a transition. Making a transition. Making a transition. Mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. I'm transition.
All right. We don't want you You know what I'm saying? Like we want to
No,
uplift.
this needs to come out. I'm okay. You know, I
We don't
know
want you to be
that.
sad. You know, I want to play this song again. I want you to see. Did you get to see what we did? I'm gonna do it again. I want you to see it.
Okay.
You logged off. I want you to see.
Mission, no mission. Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. On a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying a mission, a mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transitioning my life. On a mission. On a mission. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. I'm transition.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Power to LEKECIA. This is who you are now.
Yes.
You are not, you know, we're gonna still talk about this stuff, but I just want to show the transition of who you became
Okay.
based on all the things that you have been through. You're not everything that you're talking about. You are everything I showed, right? And I just made that just
Right.
now. As you're
Right.
talking about the story, I'm like, you know what? I sat there and I created that because I said, you know what? That's the past, and we're gonna continue to talk about the past because it could help other people. But I want to show the transition into who you are now. You understand, right? So
Right, and we'll be surely getting to that, but I want to just touch on some topics that I know that
that's
this
fine. But I just
is
wanted to
it,
show.
people are going through this currently, and they have been through this. So I feel like, along with what the domestic violence and all of that and the narc abuse, because that is why I went through those relationships because of this. So this is the build up to how I ended up in those relationships. So
And
I'm ready to
the
continue
reason
whatever
why
you
I'm
want.
showing that, I'm getting those commercial breaks showing
Right.
the transition into who you are is
Yes.
because
Yes.
you know people might just only watch a snippet of this, right? They might see a little bit of it and just log off. And I'm hoping that they might see that snippet and then see that, you know. So okay, let's continue.
Can you hear me clearly? Because you're kind of breaking up on your end. So I just want to make sure that you guys hear me clearly.
Okay, so you didn't hear what I said. So what I was saying is that
You're still breaking.
I'm still
You're
breaking up.
going in and out. Ask them, can they hear you? Because it might be my Wi-Fi
Can
kind
you
of
guys hear
tripping.
me?
But
Hit a one in the chat if you can hear me, you guys. Hit a one in the chat. Can you hear me all the
and
way?
then hit
Breaking
a
up.
2 in the chat if I'm broken up or if it's me that I'm just it's broken up over here on my end.
Okay. So okay. Okay,
Y'all
great.
sound fine. Y'all sound really good. I don't hear the breaking up. Y'all
Okay.
sound good.
So that's so
Y'all good.
let me just repeat that. So as you tell your story,
I might
I'm
have
kind
to drop and come back in because
No,
it's
you
still
good. Oh, that's on
But
your
I
end,
can
but
hear
you sound
Genesis
good.
asking me the question, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, I wasn't
everybody
asking.
try to
I was
ask me.
making a statement of the reason why I'm kind of breaking it up when you kind of get to like a climax of a story is that I want people
No,
to think that.
Genesis. I mean, you're literally like the Wi-Fi is going in and out. I don't mean like you chopping it up and what we're talking about. I'm talking about the Wi-Fi is going in and out. So every time you say something, it's like "Zh, zh, zh," and then so like
Okay,
if I can
okay,
hear what you're asking me, then I won't know what to answer, or what to say or how to reply.
okay. It wasn't a question. I was just clarifying. So let's go forward with the story. Keep going.
Okay. So by this point, um when, like I said, my boyfriend was going off to college, and I was making a way at my school, so um I wouldn't really care what the hell either one of them had to say, because honestly, my father always taught me to respect my biological father has always respected people, carried himself with respect. I was always raised to have respect for authority figures and different, my elders and different this and that. So, you know, by when I got ready to, go to school or go to my friend's house or hang out or whatever, like I wasn't really tripping off my aunt and him, because she was too busy being jealous of me because he was telling her that he was going to start sleeping with me. At this point, she was drinking very heavily. And she was acting like I was his woman. She started eventually calling me that, his woman, and he would be on the other end saying to me, like, just in passing, like if he would be in, like, I'll be in the kitchen and he come in the kitchen, yeah, I bet you be having your boyfriend sneak in the window at night. Now, what y'all don't know is that every night when I would go to bed, I would take my dresser, fill it up with everything as heavy as possible, and put my dresser against the door. So in case he did come in, I could jump out the window. I was never dumb. I was never I was never naive. I always had my wits about me at an early age, all the way up until that point and beyond. So he would say that kind of stuff like, yeah, I bet you y'all was getting it on and all this stuff, like every day. This is every day, like nonstop throughout the day. Every time he would see me, if he would take his lunch break, because like I said, he was a handyman. He worked at a handy store, and that the store was literally down the street. I think he was cool with like this small mom and pop place. They even like created the store so that he could, because he was such a good worker, that so that he could, expand his wings. So he was moving his family over in this nice neighborhood. So we lived in this nice neighborhood, and he's literally every day actually assaulting me with his mouth, with the things that he's telling me that the singer knows how to do with her body, because that's what he wants me to do with my body. Saying, he knows me and my boyfriend, I'm sneaking my boyfriend in and out. He knows that, basically I'm good, you know what I'm saying, and behind closed doors, all kind of stuff. My aunt's running around drunk on her mind. They're all drunk. Her friends, because all her friends, they had good city jobs, right? So when because they had good city jobs, my aunt included, my aunt would just be everywhere in her city job car, drunk, high, because she with her assaulter. And now he already done messed up their child that they have together, they procreated together. He done touched me, and now, because now that I'm here, and I believe he probably was touching me too when I was there with him before, but he definitely was telling me, oh, I'm priming you, and this is what you're gonna be doing, and this is what I like. And my aunt used to be so mad. My crazy aunt, she used to come through there cussing and fussing and what y'all ain't finna do to my niece, but nobody was on their feet. Like, everybody had money coming in, but they was all doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was kind of like everywhere. My aunt had just established herself, and she was getting her kids back, including the one that my girl cousin that has They're his, not my, okay. My cousin has his last name. And even when I told my cousin and shared my story with my cousin said she never had that experience with him. He's always been like a grandfather to her. And that's how she got his last name. I guess they had, if you changing names legally, you got to have paperwork, right, to adopt a child, or have the mother had to give up parental rights or something, right? You can't just legally change a child's name. Or like, I didn't get that. Like, my aunt says that that's not his daughter, but then why did she have his last name? You understand what I'm saying? Because
So
my last,
here's a question I have. Here's a question. So were they in a gang at some point, or were they just this was just happening?
what's who
Just
in the game?
your family members, were they in a gang, or
Yes,
like?
yes, 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 and yes, and yes, and yes. They was into all of that. I asked my dad like a couple years ago, how's his relationship with my grandmother? He was like, "Oh, me and my mama, we rolled together. They did scamps and stuff together." That's all he could tell me about his relationship with my grandmother. My mother, on the other hand, has told me that my father and my grandmother had a very odd relationship. I, as an adult, am a daddy's girl and a mommy's girl. I still go to my parents' house and lay in my parents' bed, but I do not lay up on my parents. You understand the difference? You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to say it what I
So is that
said.
kind of not only a testimony of just a family that African American family in California that is doing all this, but also like a testimony of the gang life and how probably they see things, and maybe it's acceptable for these things to happen.
Yes. My other aunt, I'm gonna just say this and then I'm gonna go on to the story. But I have another aunt, um, and like I said, that crazy aunt with the glass eye, her name is Beverly, right? Why did I just find out I have two other aunts named Beverly? So in total, I have three aunts named Beverly. My grandfather he had an obsession with some woman named Beverly, and he dated all women that named Beverly, and he named three of his daughters Beverly.
So do you
Anyway,
think that the gang life kind of like facilitated
no,
some of
what I think was they are, and I know is they are a part of the Masonic Lodge. My crazy aunt has told me a lot about my great uncle that I was gonna go and talk to, but my father went out there and cursed his wife out that my aunt told me about, and my uncle dropped. He went on to yonder. Now, this is the same uncle that when my mother and father was arguing one time, and he was also arguing with his other wife because my father was a bigot, I guess, at one point. Um, he got mad that he was either beating my mom and my uncle wouldn't let him, or beating my sister's mom and my uncle wouldn't let him. And my uncle had literally, y'all, just built his house from the ground up with his own hands. My father got so mad, he rammed his car into my uncle's brand new, freshly built house.
So here's a question.
And then my uncle rebuilt it, and my dad did it again.
So here's a question though. Hold on, real quick. I just want to clear something up. Okay, so you say they were
it's
part
a
of
family. It's
hold
a
on.
family curse. I believe that I
But
was
listen,
offered.
I'm going to ask a very important question.
I
So
can't,
when you
Jennifer,
mentioned,
you're going in and out. I can't hear you.
All right, drop down and come back up.
Okay.
Because I want to answer. I want to ask this question. Yeah, because like if we're talking about, because I'm like, is this so? So there's different. So all right, so gang Masons. You know what I'm saying? Now there are regular Masons, and then you have the Malachi York Masons, right? And if she was subject to certain things, is this regular Masons, Prince Hall, or is this Malachi York? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know because I know that Malachi York Masons were very popular.
Genesis, it's deeper than that. It's not about no gang. Yeah, it's a gang, all right. It's a gang, all right, and they called the Masons. That's what that's. That's what.
Okay, so because Hollywood got their own Masons, right?
But technically, they're all the same. It's just different levels, but they all the same.
Because we did interview Oya, right? Right. So Oya was talking about how Malachi York had his compound in Atlanta, and there was a whole thing about kids and this, that, the other about they really was mad because he wouldn't share his children with them. And I'm trying to figure out the connection between masonry and
It,
children and all that stuff. So like
it's all the same. It's different levels, different chapters, but they all follow the same rule book, right? Except for I'm going to put you here, I'm going to put you there, I'm going to put you there, right? This is your lodge assignment. This is your lodge assignment, right? But you can't even say the word Mason and become and do it on your own. You have to get accepted.
Okay. How should I say it? Give me a word to say, please, so that I'm not
yeah,
violating anything.
I would say
Just those people. We'll say those people.
say Jason. Maybe
Jason. Okay.
Jason? There were
I'll say
Jasons.
no. I'll say Michael Myers. That's what I'll say.
Michael Myers. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what I would say also, I'm trying to differentiate between regular Michael Myers or like maybe like Malachi York Michael Myers. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
are you trying to figure out which level, not which level is she
What
talking about?
level of it? Yeah, because from
Right.
what
It's
I
the
knew
same
is that
thing.
right. Okay. Okay.
But does she which
Genesis
level?
is highest because I was to be offered, and there's supposed to be two of me. Let my aunt tell it. My aunt is married to a man just like the other aunt was married to that man for the same exact reason. And she to this day doesn't understand that she was violated. She feels like she's old now. He's older. Things have happened. They're married and she's just gone, but she's not happy. And I told her, Auntie, you don't understand that you were violated. You have rights. You can leave, But she's sticking with it,
Mm.
But my mouth, and I just found this out because see, what I do, I am the bloodline breaker, the bloodline curser. What you ain't finna do is offer me up to any false god. I am covered in the blood of Jesus. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. I've always been marked for God. So what God has, you can never mark, you can never give up, you can never sell. Okay, Satan has his kids and God has his. And God said, touch not my anointed. God don't play about me. I'm going to tell you that right now. He don't play about me. Yes, he allowed some things for me to things to happen. But how many other people before me have y'all interviewed that this has happened to on a grander scale?
Let me just be real. All right. So you're in Compton, but Compton not that far from LA and Hollywood, right? And there are certain
Then is
children.
adjacent to the Imperial Gardens, like Imperial area or whatever, and then Imperial is connected to Linwood. That's why I was mad when that girl was talking about, ooh, Linwood make me think about Fox Hills Mall. I'm finna connect it to you right now. Linwood is connected to Compton, and then Linwood is connected to Long Beach and Compton. Okay, then you got Long Beach connected to Compton, and sort of kind of kept connected to Long Beach as well. Then when you start going up, then you got LA, because if you take Imperial by right where Compton is the cusp of, if you take Imperial going west, you hitting LA, baby. You hitting West LA, baby. You hitting South Central. Then you go from there, you might hit a little bit of Inglewood. You might hit a little bit of what else is over there? Gardena
LBC.
on the other way. You gonna I said I didn't mention the LBC. You gonna hit I did say the LBC. You gonna, because that's connected to Linwood. And then when you get to Inglewood, then you gonna go to
Inglewood.
Ladera Heights, and then and then you're gonna go to Culver City. See how far Linwood is from Culver City, and that's where the Fox Hills Mall is. See, so when people start talking about stuff that I know about, I'm very passionate. I know a lady was on here, Mother Love. She was a little bit upset, and I apologize, Mother Love, if you're listening. I'm just passionate about
Don't
where
play with Mother Love now.
I'm just passionate
No,
because
no,
I was cursing.
not
I
to
was
get creepy
cursing,
with,
and Mother Love didn't
not to get.
appreciate it, and I
Hold on,
respect her for that, because
right?
I want
Not.
people to get the message. And sometimes cursing is off-putting to people, but sometimes people need to understand when
Well,
you
hold
go
on, hold
through
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Now, Mother Love, let me just explain something. I, I know, y'all don't know the ages of people. She's an elderly woman, right?
Yes, I know that.
She can't see you here. So maybe she probably misunderstood. We ain't really gonna just say her
No,
name at all.
yes, no, but I just wanted to publicly apologize to her because I respect my elders and that bothered her. And then when that cussing lady was on the panel the other day talking about I think that was when she was talking about the Landwood situation. No, it was another situation, something else we was watching. But I felt kind of how she felt. And so I wanted to say sorry because I'm never one to try to disrespect or bring any negative energy to anybody's panel, especially when someone is showing me so much love as Sugar Love has, and Genesis being, me being appreciative of Genesis even wanting to interview me. So, we have been scarred, battered, and bruised, but we are not broken. We are
Mm-hmm.
survivors, so we will act as such,
Yeah.
like we have since. We're
Yeah.
educated. My grandmother, even though she was hard on me, taught me well. My parents didn't play that. They didn't raise me like that. Now, my parents know I cuss, they cuss, or whatever. But there's a time and a place for everything. And I may still cuss up in here because I'm telling my story. But I wanted to say that because I felt that from the next two lives up. And I said, "Ooh, I can see how that would be." And especially when, like Genesis said, if somebody's coming in the middle of something and I'm on the panel cussing, they probably like, "Oh, what's that?" We don't want that. We want someone to be like, "Oh,
That's
okay,
why
what's
I
going
played that music in the middle, so to understand that just as someone
on?"
like this
Right,
coming in right now, this is a
right.
transition. She's talking about her transition, what she went through, etc. And I'm showing the pictures. Okay, it's not just a matter of us like, but let me just really get into it because this really sounds like deep state stuff. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like grooming. It sounds like you're being groomed, and then now you're in
Okay,
the
so,
hold on, let me finish.
oh,
you
okay.
you go from all this stuff and you get into the entertainment industry. So I'm trying to figure out how much of this was just grooming you up to be in the entertainment industry and then become like a person that's just like the Disney or anything when you hear these kids like their parents bring their children to whatever, but they might have, who knows what happened before they actually got brought to Disney or any of these channels or whatever. So and me and Sugar talked. She said it's a bloodline thing. So I'm trying to figure out how much of this is
You
bloodline.
spot on, Genesis. You spot on. You hot. You on it. You on target. 100%, Genesis.
What do you
100%.
mean? I
Bing,
said
bing.
that.
You win the prize. You win the prize.
No,
What do
Sugar
you
said,
mean?
Sugar
I
said,
said
Hey,
that.
I told
Sugar
you my
said it was
Wi-Fi is
bloodline. I'm
messing up.
sorry,
Sugar,
my
you win
bad. I
all
need
the
to like,
prizes. Bing,
why am I in the
bing,
center? But
bing, and bing.
Hold up. I said
well,
that.
Sugar Love was the one who told me
I
it's all
told y'all my,
bloodline,
my
and
Wi-Fi
I'm
is
like,
messing
dude,
up over
I
here.
don't,
The
I
devil
don't know
don't want me to
whether like
out,
these who
so
are
I
in
can
the
barely hear certain stuff. I'm
But she
sorry.
hot. She hot. She hot. She hot.
okay,
She
let's go.
hot.
Go
She
ahead.
hot.
All right. So, because I'm like,
I'm going back
it's
on mute.
one thing
Bye.
to tell your story, but if we get down to the really bottom of your story, it really is based on some real shit, bloodline type stuff. People that are in like organizations that are trying to groom you into something, and then you get into the industry, and then you get further groomed. Because what I'm hearing is like a transition into people showing you about people in Hollywood. And this is not the first time I've heard this, Lakeisha. I heard this from Shaka, believe it or not. He from LA too. So that's what's crazy. So let's get into it. Okay. I'm gonna shut up and let you tell the rest of your story.
Okay, so at this point, like I said, my aunt got an attitude. Now my mom is trying to, do what she do. She's trying to get herself clean, but she's hanging with my cousins and all of this and her peoples and she's still out there. And I'm not gonna lie, that brought back her trauma from her stuff. I pray maybe one day you guys will want to interview her. I would talk to her and see if she would like to tell her story so it could tie in and you guys can to learn more about what she has gone through. But all in all, uh, he kept going, every day. And so I remember, and I'm gonna say this. Um, I was sometimes I would go and get on the train and go and see my family or try to find my mom, at the places that I felt like she was. So one time, I had went No. Okay, I'm gonna back up. Because that was when I started staying with my mom. So this is building up. So he's grooming me. He's saying this stuff. Now, mind y'all, remember, and when I first began, that I felt like he was probably watching when my cousin was doing this stuff to me at 2. He started saying stuff like, oh yeah, I would watch from the windows and all this stuff and blah blah blah. So each time that he would be supposed to be going on a handy job, he would be watching my cousin play this game with me and watching my cousin do what he was doing to me. And so this is why another reason why he felt so comfortable in starting to, okay, now I done oiled you up. You know what I'm saying? I done got you ready. I done told him what to do. He probably, like I said, probably experienced, me too. But I know I blocked out a lot of things, graphic things, because I think God knew that I couldn't handle that portion of it. He just made sure that I kept the meat and the potatoes, but not the stuff that was going to have me walking around on the street talking to myself. You understand? So by this point, he's saying stuff. I'm telling my friend, and my aunt's getting drunker and drunker. I remember we went to go and see my other aunt at her place, and my aunt, I was sitting on my aunt's bed with her, and then my other aunt, she's drunk and she like falls over me, and my aunt jumped up and was like, "Itch, get off my effing knees! Don't be, no, I ain't, we ain't with that. We ain't with that. Nah. So she was like, I'll beat your, and this is her little sister she's talking to. This is the insane sister talking to her little sister, the sick one that married, the Chester. So, my aunt, was like, I just kind of, was just sitting there because this is them. I already know what's what. And it, my aunt did right. Like, why you, first of all, my aunt was like such a drama queen. Like, what the hell are you falling out for? Like, there was no reason. We was just all having a good time. What was the reason to just collapse like somebody just told you your mama passed, even though my grandmother had passed away by that point? But what was the use of you like falling all over me? Like, how like, let's say when you're in a prayer circle or something like that, and the mothers be like covering you or whatever, like help a Lord, stuff like that. But she was doing that to me, like falling all on my lap, like in my nether regions. And my aunt was like, I will beat yo behind from here to Compton, because we was in Long Beach. So we left, me and my aunt left. And I remember like, that's when you used to have long distance. So she used to complain, my aunt, where I lived, used to complain that the phone bill was high. And because I would, just calling from Long Beach to Cali was long distance, y'all. Just even from city to city. So I called myself getting smart, crafty, and I wrote a check, and not knowing that the money comes out of the bank and she gonna see it anyway. So I wrote the check for the telephone company, because I wasn't, I didn't even want to know what the consequences would have been for getting in trouble, because she never put her hands on me, but the consequences would have been her probably giving him to me, or her letting him loose on me, and I was already trying to like fend him off. I would have weapons in my room. I told you I put the dresser behind my door, but like when you're just walking around, just like, having regular family time, what you gonna do? I don't think I ever really carry like a weapon, because the kitchen was always like right by my, like our rooms was like if I came out my room and they opened up their bedroom door, I could see right into their bedroom. So you got to imagine all the nasty, disgusting things that he was doing to her, he was wanting to do to me, and telling her that he was going to do that to me. So one day she got pissed off and she dropped me off in my mom's house. All my clothes that the Wicked Witch of the East in the West finally bought to me, my leather skirts, my, bomb clothes, my suits, my, bomb shoes, all of my little stuff from high school pictures, all of that. is left at the Chester's house with my aunt and him. She just goes and finds my mom, drops me off. So then at that point, my mom and my aunt move in together, and me and my cousins, who I said that we didn't have nobody but us, we all moved into a house together. But then on 4th of July, my aunt and my mom wanted money for drugs, and we always had big family gatherings. And my aunt's, well, she's my cousin, but I call her my aunt. Well, her mom is my aunt. My aunt cooked, of course, like always, and they wanted to get high. And so my mom was like, I'm not asking auntie, you better ask her, because that was her mama. And my aunt would give her daughter anything, even though she knew her daughter was, on drugs and stuff like that. And so she, they were trying to butter my aunt up. My aunt feeling good, she listening to Tina Turner and all her music, and we, running around and everything. And so I forgot where the hell I was. But anyway, my mom said that she and my cousin kept bugging my aunt until my big cousin, whose daughter it was, my cousin, she said, Granny, don't give them no money. They just finna go get that stuff. Cause we was teenagers. So my aunt said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy y'all a bottle and y'all stay here and drink it. So my mom is a lightweight. My mom drinks liquor or whatever. She can drink liquor or whatever, but eventually she gonna tap out. My aunt, however, her daughter got super intolerant to drugs probably because her mama and her daddy was taking a lot of drugs and stuff. Like I said, my aunt at one point background danced for Tina Turner and Ike, so you can only imagine what was going down then. So anyway, my aunt and big cousin aunt, she hooks up with her husband, which is my cousin, who said, Granny, don't give them no money. Her and her brother share a father. He came over and he ended up getting a hold to some money. So they went over to where our family, unfortunately, always get unalive and go into glory. It's a whole neighborhood, y'all. I wish you could just go into the ground like poltergeist. Anyway, my mom was asleep. She was knocked out because she drunk. She didn't go. But my cousin and her husband, they went. Well, my cousin used to have asthma attacks, and she had already almost OD'd because she had an asthma attack in the middle of her almost ODing in the hospital, and the doctor told her, ma'am, if you do that again, you're not going to come back. Well, guess what? She didn't come back on the 4th of July. And so at that point, my cousins and I was kind of at a feud because they was mad because their mom was gone and my mom was still here, and they kind of felt like maybe it should have been my mother, And so but I'm gonna say this, I had went back to that house, I took a chance because I wanted my clothes. I felt like at least I deserved my clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like, this would be the second huge monument in my life that I had something that was valuable to me that was just thrown to the side or got dumped in the trash like it was garbage or like I was garbage, So I went back in the daytime to go and get at least some of my things. I knew, because I was on the train, I knew I wasn't going to be able to carry everything. So I go back and they're having a party. Marvin Gaye had just passed away. They're listening to Diana Ross, I'm Missing You. That's why I can't stand that song to this day, because I went to my bedroom and then he was in the living room with their friends. My aunt wasn't nowhere to be found. And so I don't know why I think I went to the kitchen probably to grab a bag or something, an extra bag, because I only had probably maybe a book bag or something. I wanted to try to take as much stuff because I knew once I got my stuff, I was never coming back, because I hadn't been back since my aunt had dropped me off there at my mom's, or at where my mom was staying at the time. And so I go in the kitchen, he goes in the kitchen, and he's all up on me, on my shoulder, like, yeah, you're gonna have to sleep with me because you're gonna have to give me some of that good thing, because every time your aunt would let you go to your friend's house or go out to hang out after school or whatever, any privilege that I had as a teenager, he said it was because of him, and now I had to give my sugar bowl up. And I was like, I was already ready. Like once I
Oh my
heard him coming, once I heard him coming towards the kitchen, I had already braced myself and got a weapon. And so I was about to slice and dice, baby. Slice and dice. This is for my whole family. Slice and dice, baby. But their friend came in the kitchen. So when he came in the kitchen, I just said, F the clothes, F my memorabilia, F everything. I'm out of here. I left, never came back. Then probably
How
like
old were you then? How old were you at this time?
I hadn't even turned 17.
Wow.
It hadn't even been Genesis. It hadn't even been a whole year. You think God, because I had tried to take myself out. My grandmother had pills, right? I didn't read up on it. I didn't know. We didn't have
I want
Google.
to give me some of that sweet thing, whatever the fuck. Like, bro,
Yeah, we
if you
didn't
don't
have Google. So I tried to take myself out in the garage and just woke up with my stomach was just hurting. I had to throw up, but nobody knew that. I tried to take myself out because, like I said, every day it was that. Every day it was, yeah, I bet that thing dripping. I bet you know how to choo choo choo. You know how them girls know how to,
God.
shoot that liquid out there. I'm telling you, I cannot never look at this famous singer today the same. I love her music. I still force myself to listen to that music. But if she knew what that man put in my head and told me about her private business, she would be appalled. She probably wouldn't give a fuck because that's how she is. Excuse me for cursing. But she probably would be appalled that that part of her life came back to hunt her at her older age. That me being
And so
16 years
he
old.
was saying that he had did the same thing to her.
Yes. Because how would he know? How would he know she knows
Was
how to
he
do
like
this with
a
her?
producer or what was he doing?
What he did to my aunt and my grandmother and everybody in my
Well, I'm
family.
saying, how did he even get access to this singer or whoever it was?
Genesis, California and Hollywood is small. Do you know how many people I know in the entertainment business before I even got in entertainment business? And there's intertwined in my families. And just so happened that, like I said, when I was looking at different entertainers on the television, when I got grown, I dated a man that was rapping with Tone Loc. And like I said, we fed Charlie Wilson's brother because he was homeless. Like, I've been around entertainers all my life.
Wow.
In
So he
some way,
he
for a
didn't
family,
even know what
fashion, or form.
connected to the entertainment business, but because he was connected to the entertainment, he probably didn't have a talent as a producer or nothing like that. But
No,
because
I don't know. I don't know. I never, first of all, Genesis, let me tell you, I'm I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? When let's say, for example, it's somebody that you got to be around, let's say a coworker, but it's always some bull swanky with this coworker. So every time you go into work, you always got to give yourself a pep talk, and you always got to remind yourself, I got bills to pay, or I got this, whatever your reason is for going to that job and having to deal with that, put up with that coworker, right? So these are talks that I would have to tell myself, because every day he's telling me these things, because these are things that he wants to do to me. These are things that, he has done to other women, other people, kids. So he's telling me this stuff because when it's time for him in his mind, when he tells me to do it, I'm going to know exactly what he's talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
wow. Okay.
So my aunt got tired of that, because she just started, like, she'll be like your boyfriend, or she'll be like your girlfriend, or there's times when like I would get off of school and then I would come home, and then she'd be like, go tell your uncle something. Now, mind you, he worked, like I told you, they built a whole like handy for him when we moved over there. So like I could literally walk, he could walk to work, I could walk to his job or whatever. And then I would go in there, and then I would always like feel creepy, because then I would be looking at the other men that we be working there and the other people, like, do y'all know he's like this, or are y'all like this? Like I always had like questions in my mind. And then he had a certain smell to him too. This is how I know, like, when pedos pills have are around me, because of him. There's a certain smell that they have, it's a certain scent that God has given me to pick up on because of that. And another man that I came across later on in my life. But anyway, yeah, so he would say this stuff to me while we were cooking. You know, I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to fix me something to eat, and he would teach me how to cook. He was the only one that cooked in the house. Nobody else cooked but him. So I didn't learn how to cook at my grandparents' house. You know, I was going through too much turmoil. I did bake with my grandfather, but I didn't cook. And then, like I said, it was normalized. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to cook with you, even though I'm feeling that way. But then what is that gonna do? You know, like, I'm here by myself. Like, these people they don't have custody of me because I'm 16, but they still have like guardianship over me at some point, to some degree. So what I'm gonna be like, blah, 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 whatever, you know, I'm in there sometimes by myself with him. He could have done anything to me, but no, he wanted it ready. He wanted it marinating, because I feel like he already had a taste of it, or even if he didn't have a taste of it, he had a taste of it by proxy, and he knew what he was gonna do. And all the time, I told you, from the time I was 6 rather, all the way up until now, he's rearranging stuff for my quote unquote benefit, but it's really for his benefit. So all he got to do is walk out of one room with my aunt, from banging her daylights out, and probably her being drunk and high, and really, honestly, I can't even imagine what my aunt was going through, because because I still can't even imagine what my other aunt that's still living going through with hers. How you laying down with a man that's done this to you? How you constantly being around this man that's done, you done bore a child, he done got burnt to a crisp, and then he doing this to other people. The one that took his eggplant out in the treehouse. Remember when they used to have like Jenny Jones and Maury and all that stuff back in the day, and Ricky Lake? I was trying to find it for y'all so y'all could play it. I couldn't find it. And it's probably because I try not to remember like how his name is properly spelled or anything really about him. But my cousin told me years ago, and she even told me a couple of years ago, that he went on one of those shows and told what his father did. I'm not the only one that spoke out about this. This is just new and up to date. But I don't like albino people to this day, because his son, he did so much that basically his son was like, that movie Powder? Y'all ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's how he looked. So you got to imagine me. I already encountered, that's why I used to have nightmares about monsters. I already encountered my cousin that touched me at 2, and he all burnt up. And then we got Powder over here looking like he a damn Casper the Friendly Ghost, whipping out his eggplant to a 6 years old. You 17, 18. You got to know better, but you know better. But your father done already did this, tricked you out, turned you out everywhere but loose, and all the other kids. His sisters and brothers, they didn't talk about it somewhere. But anyway, getting back to it, like I said, I was ready to slice and dice. I left and never went back. Then my aunt got sick. Then she started asking for me, and I didn't go. I refused. I almost refused to go to her funeral. The only reason why I went to her funeral is because my cousin, that's the same age as me, was like, "You gonna feel kind of way," which I didn't. But for the sake of quote unquote family, I played nice, and I had my kids by that point. By this point, I had my kids. So now I'm in mother role, and I'm trying to make sure that, nothing happens to nobody, because now we have brand new babies in the family and all this stuff. And Chester is still alive, and my aunt is now gone. But Chester is now working at at that time, he had just got a job being a handyman for a big, huge apartment complex around a whole bunch of kids. And so we went to my aunt's funeral. We go to the repast. I didn't want to go. And I'm telling my cousin, I want to, we're going to go in there. I'm going to say my hellos to the family, not to him. And then we got to go. I had to go pick up my son. Matter of fact, I told my mama that because my mama went. My mama, I love her and bless her heart. But my mama got in there and started kikiing with them people, and I had my babies. And when I tell y'all I was about to flip that whole house down, upside down, and he was trying to keep me engaged talking, and I'm like, where my babies at? I got eyes on my babies, because why you trying to keep me talking? You know what I'm saying? Who you got? Who you done groomed in here that's finna touch my babies? So I told my cousin, I said, if you don't take me and my babies home right now, I will walk. I will walk. I was so pissed at all of them because those were the stipulations. If I go to this, I should be nowhere left alone with him. Neither if because my babies wasn't even supposed to be there. It just so happened that I had to go pick them up because I had them somewhere getting babysat, and a hater gonna hate, and the devil gonna try to get in the mix to try to see if he can do something to my kids while he at it. You know what I'm saying? And my mom is not really thinking, because she's around family, no matter how dysfunctional it is, and she's seeing people she hasn't seen in years. And I'm like, I don't give up about none of that. I got 2 sons that I'm trying to keep out of this, generational curse, and I'm damn sure not finna let my kids be in the hands of this one. And so I guess he passed away, but before he passed away, my cousin that's my age said that he was confessing everything to her because he thought that because my aunt and her daughter look just alike. The crazy aunt and her daughter, they look exactly the same. So, and just like me, I look exactly like my father. I look little like my mom, but I really look exactly like my father. But anyway, she said he thought I was Beverly. He was confessing everything, girl. She said, I guess he was trying to get all them ghosts up off of him before he left this earth. He gone now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find a picture because I remember one of my aunts, I think the one that got a kid by him, I was on her page. I ended up having to block her because they don't talk about it. What happened is what happened. Family is family, and what else is what it is what it is. Not when it concerns me. Not when I'm the sacrificial lamb. I think not. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. How about that? Not in the afterlife. Not if you believe in the afterlife. Not if you believe in reincarnation. I don't give a F what you believe in. It stops here. When my father took his last breath, it stopped there, and it stops with me. I came in here to break every bloodline curse, because what you ain't finna do is sell me off. Who the hell?
Curses, child. Break them curses, child.
Who the hell you think
and
you
listen,
are?
Man.
I'm telling you, when I was so mad, Genesis, when my father went out there, this was right when 2020 hit, right before 2020 hit. The goal was I just got a brand new car. I just did the Super Bowl. I just did the Grammys. Me and my dad, he was trying to get away from his witch of a wife. And yes, she was a real life witch.
What did you do for the Super Bowl? What did you do for the Super Bowl?
I said, Daddy, this is what we're going to do, because I made him promise not to put his hands on her. And I knew that he was at the brink of taking her out, because she was at the brink of sucking him dry and taking him out so she can use his veteran. That's what Genesis. That's why I asked that information the other day about the veterans and the survivors. Anyway, so my dad always be talking about, because they're from the South, Tennessee. I'm going back home. I'm going back home. He always say that. He'll say that a couple of times. He won't go. Then he'll say it, and then he'll be out there, and the KKK will run him out of there. They tried to run him out of there. The crazy aunt, I kid you not, every time the KKK say, boy, you got to go, he tell them, kiss my black, I ain't going nowhere. And I'm rounding up all your women and treating them like I want to treat them. So my aunt would have to leave from Long Beach, because she don't fly, take the damn Greyhound, go get his crazy behind, bring him back out here, and then do the same thing every couple of years. But this last time, he said, I'm going to go home. I said, okay, Daddy, well, this is what we're going to do. I got this brand new car I'm ready to break in. I want to take a road trip. He got kids that my younger sister that I just found, she found me on Facebook. We look exactly the same, which she's the youngest and I'm the oldest, and we look exactly like him. Got his whole entire face, we stole his whole entire face. You hear me? His whole entire face. I would like to add, just for a fun fact, my dad has Nature Boy eyebrows. So
wow.
To do with that with you.
So what we're gonna do is
going back to the story.
No, hold on, listen. We're gonna take a break on that. It's a lot for anyone to digest. I mean, we need to break this up because it's so much. It's a lot. I mean, I'm like going through some trauma just listening to this. So we're gonna break it up a little bit. We're gonna just take a break, and we're gonna like just take a music break. And
Okay.
okay, so and I want you to come back, and I want you to go further into. You went through the teenage years. You went through the child years. I want you to now get
Yeah,
into
now
the.
we're finna get up to current, but I just had to fill you in on that because it ties into the current Genesis. That's why I needed to tell you,
I
because
know,
your
I know.
mind finna be blown about this second part. So go ahead. We
Okay,
gonna take the break.
we're gonna take a little commercial break. Okay, y'all.
Mission, on mission, trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, ooh. Trying to mission, a mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transitioning my life. On a mission. On a mission. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. I'm transition.
So now, and we're in part 3 of the story.
Okay.
So let's go.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna speed this up to basically almost current. So I started going to fashion design school. My sons were young. I was making jewelry. Let me give you a backstory right quick. The reason why I know how to make jewelry is because God blessed my hands. Because when I was pregnant with my older son, his grandmother is Rasta, and she used to make jewelry, so I used to watch her make jewelry, and so I learned from her to kind of calm my nerves from her son and the inner family workings of what what was going on with them and the tension between my dad and me, because my mom had kicked me out. My mother had kicked me out, and I'm just gonna kind of skip some parts. I'll tell some of my stories so we don't be so long. But at this point, I'm already like, me and my mom are living together or whatever and have a place and all of this stuff. And I go back and forth to my bonus dad, my mom's house. And anyway, I'm at I'm at my mom's house, and I'm working at Payless Shoe Store. So I get pregnant. And when I get pregnant, things start changing for me, I start feeling more independent because, like I said, my family on my bonus dad side always kind of looked down on me. And like, okay, let's say for instance, right now, both of my sisters own property, right? I don't own any property. I'm just now seeking the Lord. Well, yeah, for the past couple of years, I've just been now, looking for a house for me to own. I've never owned any property. Those homes that they have been passed down through their grandparents. You understand? When I chose to leave that house and not let my grandmother beat on me, First of all, I don't ever think that I was going to get any part of her inheritance anyways. Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. Because I remember when I left the house, she used to try to, when I would go to family gatherings, she used to be like, see, you can have what your sister's having. You can be going to college and doing this. There's no way I could have did that if you were driving me insane and calling me whores and beating on me. And, I can't have no privilege. How am I going to go to college and then be on punishment? I'm gonna go to college and then be, you know what I'm saying, like overwhelmed and you driving me crazy. That wouldn't have never worked. And so anyway, my I'm staying in my mother's house. I'm very proud of myself because now I got my first real job. I can buy my parents what I always wanted to get them. So I'm spoiling them because I think I'm balling, y'all. I was 19 when I got that job. No, I was 18 when I got the job. I was 19 when I got that job because I got that job, and not too long after I got that job, because I was working so hard, they was like, do you want to pick up hours at another store? And I was like, sure. So when I picked up the hours, that's when I met my older son's dad, because I don't just talk to, anybody. He came in there looking for work boots. I'm young. He's nice looking. I'm checking him out. I'm like, damn, work boots. He young, he my age, he working. Okay, check. All right. I'm young. I don't have no kids. I don't have nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? But to make sure that I'm doing what I'm doing for myself, because that's all my parents was looking for. They didn't care about me giving them any money. Well, my dad and my mama was a different story. That Gemini. But anyway, so so when I help him with the boots, and then he leaves, right? So we closing up, and he knocks on the window, and then he was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, no. He was like, do you mind if I walk you home? And I was like, well, I don't live in walking distance in here. And he was like, can I catch the bus with you? And I was like, sure. So he caught the bus with me home, made sure I made it home. He caught the bus home. We didn't live that far from each other. And we started dating, and he had a good job. He worked for his brother, got him a job working for a chicken company. So he was making it that was 1994. He was making at least $30 an hour. And I had my little money coming in. So I'm thinking, oh, this is nice. You know what I'm saying? And then like I'm into, what I'm saying, Caribbean culture and his family's roster. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So by the time I got pregnant, we done made a baby. This dude done ghosted. I'm at my mom's house. She tripping. And we almost, me and my son almost lost our lives at the same hospital I was born at. Because he had left. He was supposed to pick me up from work. And this day, okay, I'm going to back up real quick. The night before, he woke up crying in his sleep, talking about he had a dream that I left him, right? So I go to work and I tell my boss. My boss said, that ninja crazy. You need to leave him immediately. So I was like, Clement, okay. So, but I'm like, my boss ain't got no reason to talk because his wife was dogging him out and he a manager, So I was like, whatever, I just kind of goofed it off. The next day, he was supposed to pick me up from work. No show. I call. They don't know where he is. Nobody knows where he is. So my boss gave me a ride home. So then nobody knows where he is, okay? Nobody knows where he is. I said, I'm going to find out. I bet you I know where he is. I started doing investigating. When I say my best friend is from New York, she had a cutlass. When I tell you, we didn't know what the hell we was doing. I guess she was having some radiator issues. We took some black tape, rolled it around, taped it around that hose, rolled all the way to San Bernardino from LA, went looking for him, found him at his brother's house. I'm like, boop, 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 boop. This boy, he in the damn infirmary at the hospital because he done shot himself in the foot. So I'm like, what the hell? Now his mom and them, they knew where he was, but nobody was going to tell me. And I knew where he was. So I went looking because you ain't finna be leaving me. I'm 4 months pregnant. You done asked me for this child. We done literally created and enchanted while we're making love. We want this child. I thought this child was made in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, we on our business. We was getting ready to get an apartment and all that. But even like then, like his mom was like side-eyeing, like everything. Like he told his mom I was pregnant. She side-eyed him. He told his mom we was moving together. She side-eyed him. But I didn't know he already had a girl pregnant. She was Latino. And her family told him, if you don't stay away from our daughter, it's going to be the last time you breathe. So nobody's telling me this. Of course, his family ain't gonna tell me. He ain't gonna tell me. But he done just made a baby with me, and now I'm 4 months. So I go to a reggae concert with his mom and his sister. I eat some undercooked food. We meet Shabba Ranks. Shabba Ranks bless my belly. By the time Shabba Ranks bless my belly, my stomach start messing up. I'm 4 months pregnant. No, I was, by that time I was 6.5 months, because I had him at barely 7. I was closer to 7 months. And so I'm backstage kicking it with Shaba. He took the shirt off his back. He blessed my belly, blessed my older son, because they're Rastas. So my older son actual birthday is on Selasia's birthday. So, Shaba was like, this baby is gonna be a blessing to his family and all this different stuff. And so I ended up having my son. Like I said, we almost passed away. And yeah, so that's what ended up happening. So basically, I end up my mom was just like tripping. So one day I take my best friend some food. My mom's calling me, texting me. Actually, she was paging me because we had pagers still. And she was like calling me on my phone too. And she was like, come get your effing baby. Come get your effing baby. And I remember I had a guy friend over, and she was just like, she had her husband, but they weren't married at the time. Her new husband, and she was just tripping, like just tripping, and she got like that sometimes. And so I was just trying to ignore it. Plus I had company, and I'm trying not to be embarrassed, but she's on one. And so by the time I come back, she's literally throwing all of my baby stuff, my stuff. I hadn't even healed up. When I say we almost unalive, I was in the hospital for a month. They tested me for everything. My C-section incision was leaking. It was leaking fluid. I had so much fluid in my lungs that they had to keep taking that out so I wouldn't choke on it. I was so weak. I couldn't see my baby. I couldn't feed my baby. So he couldn't even I couldn't breastfeed him because I had so much medication. By the time they got ready to poke me one more time and test me for bone marrow disease, I cussed them out from here to Arizona and told them if they come in there to poke my little self one more time, it was going to be hell to pay. The only reason why I didn't act a fool is because I had a fine doctor named Dr. Love. He was fine. He was married, but his name was Dr. Love. And I had a wonderful nurse named Nurse Cora. And because that was my grandmother's name, she kind of gave it to me like my grandmother would have. And so she was like, you want to see your baby, right? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, well, you got to let them put this needle in you so they can get this fluid out of you. It was just liters and liters and liters of liquid. I have a thyroid condition. No one has ever checked me for a thyroid condition. So because I had an overactive thyroid, my body was telling my baby to come. Plus, I had ate that meat that was undercooked, right? So I had a lot of healing to do. I stayed in the hospital for a month. Our son stayed in the hospital for 2 months, barely making it. He had to get blood transfusions. They shaved his I ain't gonna talk about it because he probably ain't gonna want me to say that right now. But yeah, they had to do a lot, and he was premature because, like I said, he kept trying to come. He kept trying to come. He was trying to come before then, I would say, even then, because I was spotting. But once me getting food poisoning, my body just couldn't fight off anymore with that baby in me, But thank God, they called my mom. They told her what was going on because my whole family was there now. My bonus dad, my mom, my grandmother, the Wicked Witch, my sisters. I can't say everybody was there, right? Y'all hear me, right? Everybody was there. They told them to go home. I wasn't going to have the baby. I ended up having him because he went into fetal distress. Do you know that I meant nothing to these people so much that they had a baby shower without me? They didn't think to bring my stuff up to the hospital so that I can enjoy my baby shower. They literally had a whole baby shower for me and my child that I almost lost. And I almost lost my own life without me, and took pictures and thought it was the business. Who does that? But that's how they feel about me. So anyway, um Going forward, I moved into my son's father's house and with his mom, and that's that. I wanted to say something about that, but anyway, when I got older, from there I moved with my best friend. From that place I moved with my best friend, and my soulmate Enoch. He is another Capricorn, and I moved with him because he was my best friend, and him and his brothers, his family, allowed me to move there. And at that time, my son's grandmother heard me say that I was moving away, and she told my son's father. Well, my son's father and his mother devised a plan that they were going to. I had a Volkswagen Fastback that my big brother had given to me while he was locked up, to make sure that me and my baby got around. And sometimes the gas, those older cars, gas, all that stuff is fickety because it's older, it's vintage. And so they used my car. They ran out all my gas. When they came in, I had my son in my arms, my brand new older son, and my son's dad starts saying, yeah, you talking about taking my son and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And I was like, what? And so at that point, his mother, is taking my son out of my arms, and I'm arguing with him because I'm like, dude, you done been all over here, you done did this and that and blah blah blah. Don't even talk to me about this right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't even watch our kid. You know what I'm saying? When I'm going to work and hustling and grinding, you had sleep. I came home one day, y'all. My son was wedged in between the bunk bed, his face down, crying, screaming his head off. He had just got out the hospital. So he had to have been maybe 4 or 5 months, not even 6 months. His father was knocked out sleeping. That boy was crying. That baby was crying with his head wedged between the wall and the bunk bed. And he's just like levitating in the air with his little baby body, preemie body. And his daddy is knocked out sleep, cold. I come in the room after work and I'm going off. Do you not hear our son crying? So yeah, I was gonna leave. So they pushed me out the house. I had a home girl. I went to her house. I told her, give me your blicky, because I got some hunting to do. They just did this, that, and the other. They got my baby. Because when he pushed me out the house, he had already took the keys to the house off the car ring. So when I went thinking I'm finna open and unlock the door and fight for my baby, no, they locked me out. I get in the car. I got enough gas to get to her house because she stayed right up the hill. So she's like, no, we're going to handle this the proper way. My mom works for, this, that, and the other. She took me down there. I got a temporary restraining order. They gave me full custody because he put his hands on me and was pushing me in the house and pushing me out the door. When I tell y'all, my bonus dad told me, don't take that man away from his son. Let him see his son. That was the worst thing that I could have ever done. I'm telling you. Anyway, we go to court. He don't show up. My daddy's with me. I see, daddy, you telling me don't take him from his son, but he ain't even here to fight for his son. So anyway, I move with Enoch. I'm dazed and confused. No, before that, I'm dazed and confused. I'm like packing my stuff, coming there, whispering into my baby's ear, like, mommy will be back for you. Do you know how heartbreaking that is for me to have left my child, me thinking my baby is going to think I abandoned him after he's already been in the hospital for 2 months and I can barely see him every single day. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to heal up and I got to make sure the doctor's doing what the hospital doing the best they can to make sure he still stay here on this earth. And now I'm going through a custody battle. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't know that I was doing this, so he just thinking, yeah, Itch, I got you and I got our son and ain't nothing you can do about it. And I'm just like, all right, Ninja, you just wait. And so when the paperwork came in court, they said permanent, I went and I was able to get the police and grab my son. And I had already grabbed my baby stuff because I was stashing it in my stuff like I was a battered wife. In my stuff, I was stashing my baby stuff. Every time I would go, I would stash his clothes and whatever else I was like I can buy. I left that, but all the other stuff I took. So I moved with my best friend. He got a whole family dynamic. He starts saying, hey, you know what year it is? And I was like, yeah, it's 96. And We had made a pact in 1993. If we weren't married to anyone else, that we would marry each other. His family knew that we would have open relationship. This is when I started having my own polygamous relationship. I've had an open relationship with this man, a closed relationship, a friendship, a homie and lover friend, a best friend. He's even gotten men for me to enjoy for my own pleasure, and I've done the same thing for him. And so I moved in. We raised my son like he was his father, and that's how that went for a couple of years until, I'm gonna tell you this: when you love somebody, you got to stand on business. I don't care about family. I don't care about nobody else, because you'll lose a good one. You understand what I'm saying? It was only so much that I was going to take out of that situation, because at that point, once his family said no, we couldn't get married, they started to bully me. His sister-in-law and his sister, they were married themselves. See, they were mad at me because we are hustlers, we grinders, we both Capricorns, we make money hand over fist. And because he took care of me, and I didn't have to work, I didn't work. I focused on building that relationship that I had lost for those months with my baby. So he worked, and even a lot of times, because he did security for Master P. He did security for entertainers. So me and my baby would be in the car with him or whatever vehicle we had, and I would have my little snacks. My baby would, James was a toddler at this point, but we would ride with him. And then I started doing security. We was tag teaming that stuff. So his siblings would get money from us, but wouldn't pay it back. And one day I just spoke up and was like, nah, you got to pay back the money that the last time. And his brother was like, who you talking to? I said, my money isn't tied in this. And I have a child. Just like y'all got kids, y'all are married. You asking him for money for your extracurricular activities that you're cheating on your wife. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We're young. Let us live and have our own relationship. Y'all already said we can't get married. He listened to y'all because he's the baby of the family. They depend on him. And I told him too, for your mama, you dislike her because she left at the end of the day, or your father told her don't come back or she gonna mess y'all up, and you was the baby. She did not, you didn't get the name Enoch by chance. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You did not get the name by Enoch by chance. And if anybody know the story, Enoch walked with God so much that he did not unalive. God took him up to heaven. Enoch is one of the only ones that's up there in heaven with God on point. Read the word of God and read the story of Enoch. And I'm not talking about the book of Enoch, because I don't know nothing about that. I know my word, and my word is my word. And God didn't make no mistakes when he introduced me to Enoch, who Sugar by the last name is a Flowers as well. Those Flowers clans run deep. Anyway, so I started, feeling away because I felt caged in, and I seen my younger son's dad, because I had met him when I was still working in my regular store at Payless. So I met both of my son's father at Payless. My younger son's dad's father played for the Harlem Globetrotters. He also was a Laker before they were Lakers. That's who my son is named after. My son's grandfather's name is Joel McCoy Ingram. My son's name is McCoy Ingram. Check the facts. God and Satan had a plan for me, but God's plan is bigger. So anyway, stuff got rocky with Enoch. I started, cheating with Cedric. Enoch found out. It was a big mess. We ended up breaking up. Things happened throughout the years. We ended up getting back together when I did get pregnant with McCoy. But because Enoch is he's a Latino and African American man, as well as a Belizean man. When McCoy came home, when McCoy was in the hospital still, McCoy, he could pass for Enoch's, right? Because McCoy is very light. His hair was very straight. Enoch is straight and wavy. He could in his mind, in his Cappy mind, he could pass that off. James is darker, so there would be questions there, but in his mind, he could pass McCoy off. But when McCoy came home, McCoy hair was curly and it shattered his world. So he started acting funny, and he had already, by that point, after I had McCoy, he tricked me. I left McCoy's father and told him, I'm leaving you because you're mama's boy and you keep telling me you won't want to pay no bills and we can't eat chicken. My younger son's dad was about 6'5", I kid you not, and at least going into 400 pounds, 350 solid. So, sir, you're not bringing in no money. I can't eat the bill people and rent people and landlords and the owner. They can't eat chicken. I can't pay. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna either step up your game or I'm gonna handle that. And so I'm gonna real quick. He didn't believe fat meat was greasy. He came home one day. There was a man sitting in my apartment. The man got scared because my baby daddy is my son's father is any man, would kind of be like, oh, because that's a lot of the response. And so my baby daddy came in again with a box of chicken from KFC. Was sitting there. Now we had a bomb threat the couple of days before, and a guy, he worked for the company, and he walked me down, and I didn't give him my baby daddy no kid. So he remembered that guy. And so he walked in, he just looked at me, look at the guy, he walked into my back bedroom, which this is my apartment. I pay the bills. My name is on the lease, not his. He don't got no parts of this. He said his mama address was where it was, and he wasn't paying no bills. So the man looks at me, he said, I'm gonna go. I said, no, you're not. And I was daring him because I wanted to see what type of character he was, not to put him in any danger. I knew my son's father wasn't going to do anything, but to see what kind of, because I don't need no weak man. I've been unprotected too long. I don't need a weak man. You know what I'm saying? You better think outside the box. And he already knew what was kind of going on because I was pregnant and we would talk at work. It was almost like he was kind of like a work husband, So he knew what was going on. Anyway. And so my son's father called me in the room and he was like, it's time for your company to leave. I said, the hell it is. You can leave. You said your mama address is da 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 da. You came here with a bucket of chicken and I already told you. So next time I changed my locks. He came. He said, hey, the locks don't work. I was right down the street at my girlfriend's house. She said, Mousy. That's what they call me, Mousy. Mousy, what you think he gonna do? I said, he gonna call and I'll be right here at your kitchen thing. If her apartment would have been bigger, I could have saw, because that's how close our apartments was. I told him I'm going to Enoch. I went back to Enoch. Enoch made sure that I went to my doctor's appointments. They both went to my doctor's appointments. The doctor was like, whoa, you have a lot of support, because what you ain't finna do is get away from your responsibilities. So when my son was born, we all parented and co-parented my sons together. And then when I lost my place because me and Enoch was doing way too much, like I said, he got upset because he couldn't pass McCoy off for him. And I wanted to move into a house. And I asked the owners, did they have a house? Because now our family has grown, now we got 2 kids and us, and we like to have space. We like the finer things. There's nothing that me and this man did not splurge on ourselves. So we're going to give our kids the finer things, because at this point we didn't have any kids together, And so the owner was like, oh, somebody just moved out upstairs and it's a 2-bedroom. So Enoch was like, okay, we'll take it. Well, what he did was, when I went up with they were brothers. When I went up with one owner to go look at the place, Enoch was down with the other brother telling him, I'm going to be renting out both of these places. I'll take over the rent for her and I'm going to take care of it. And that's what happened. And then James turned 4. He got a wild hair up his ass. It was a family affair, like always. We were all dressed alike. And he got up not speaking to me. And I wasn't on that bull crap. And I was like, all right, fine. So that at the end of the day, I called my ex-husband up, because I met Enoch and my ex-husband at the same time. And so I called my ex-husband up, left a message at his mama house. Y'all know how I used to do it back in the day. You call a guy, you cool with his mama, and you be like, oh, hi, Miss such and such, or hi, Mama such and such, is such and such here. Okay. So this particular time, my husband was looking for me, and he was like, Mom, if she called, tell her to leave her number. I did. I started dealing with my ex-husband. He got mad. He brought him in a girl, which she kind of looked like me, because I didn't even recognize it. My mom said it, then my dad said it, and then his family started, and he was like, at this point, our family was like, y'all tripping. Y'all on one. But they knew that we had got together so young that this was just life experiences, and we kind of had to work it out on our own, and they would be there to catch us. You know what I'm saying? So we went through a lot, had fights. The Long Beach Police Department knew us by name. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff went down. I got evicted. I lost my place because I was mishandling my money. And then he got another girl pregnant. He moved that girl out and got oh, I didn't even know, and the other girl didn't even know he was screwing a whole nother girl and got that girl pregnant. So that girl comes, and I'm thinking it's the girl that I had to fight with, because literally this is like the next day or so. So I'm in here, I done got maced, because that's how deep it got. Like, because I was fighting the girl, and we're fighting, and I'm so pissed off because this is what the fight was about. We were doing our thing, y'all know what I'm saying. I could not watch them. I could do things with them. I could do things with him. I could not watch him do things with her. So because I had my own place and he was paying for it upstairs, I would politely remove myself when they would start engaging. I love that man. I didn't know how deeply my love ran until that experience happened. So we had my older son in soccer, and right before the soccer game, she had, because this is how we had it set up. She told me, focus on McCoy, which was my younger son. She already had a kid. She said, I'm gonna make the breakfast in the morning, you cook the dinner at night, and then we'll do it like that. And that's how we did it. My older son, he was what, 4? Yeah, 4. He would go up and down, up and down. I'm going to daddy house, mommy. Okay, I'm daddy, I'm going to mommy's house. I found out the new girl was pregnant because my son said, mommy, have a baby, mommy, have a baby. I said, boy, I just had your brother. Like, my sons are 4 years apart. Like, I just had McCoy. He said, well, my daddy's having a baby. I tell y'all, I looked out my bedroom window, called him on the phone, and the girl's like leaning on him. And I'm looking out the window on the phone, and I'm like, you got that girl pregnant? And she, yeah, tell that itch I ain't like such and such. I said, on site, it's on site. Come out right now. It's like a big old mess. So she was like, yeah, and because like my mail was still coming there, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I only transitioned like upstairs, and we're still dealing with each other. So it was a big old deal. So the girl was taunting me, calling me trash. I he was supposed to, because I wasn't working. My ex-husband was he was a in construction, and Enoch worked doing security. So Enoch would take my car during his work shift, and my ex-husband would take, I had a truck. I had a Bronco. So Enoch would take my truck in the daytime, my ex-husband would take it at nighttime, and they would go to work. And my ex-husband, though, he was upset because Enoch was getting all of the cake and eating it too. My ex-husband was not included in none of this. He was just experiencing me. And he was like, how the hell you got this set up? And I said, that's his woman. You got to talk to that man about that. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? You signed up for this. You knew what it was. You've been knowing what it was from day one, because anybody that's been in my life, that has entered my life, know about me and Enoch. The Enoch is like everybody's arch nemesis. You know what I'm saying? All the men in my life, they can't stand Enoch. So, and we love Enoch because Enoch take care of the babies. Enoch take care of business. Enoch take care of family. Enoch take care of his business. So Enoch paid the cost to be the boss. And me as a woman, I can't do nothing but respect that, in the way that I was groomed and raised, and already experiencing things with my body when I met that man, and we've been grinding ever since. I didn't have no problem giving him what he wanted, because he had no problem giving me what I wanted. The shirt off his back all the way up until I walked away from those millions. And the only reason why I walked away from millions of dollars from Enoch is because he wants God's place, and he should know by already experience that is not, I'll never give him that place again. I made that mistake once. Anyway, fast forward until all of this happened. I lose my place. I'm homeless. Now I'm homeless. Now I'm sleeping. I go to my mom's house. My mom is giving us problems. Of course, again, she's tripping. My ex-husband, like I said, he's in construction work. She had flipped out one time and busted out her window. So she had a hole in her big old huge glass pane window. So when, for her letting us stay there, especially my kids, me and my ex-husband, out of our pocket, we paid for the glass window. My mom tripping. She got the wrong crowd around her. She ends up breaking the glass window again. So my mom is tripping. She's like, basically like treating me like I'm a stranger on the street. My grandfather,
Right.
her
So,
father,
so
it
we're
comes
gonna take a break right at this point because, like I said, we have it's different levels of the story.
I'm leading up to the current part. But like as I'm talking, there's intricate parts that need to be told to so y'all can get the full spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me if I'm being long-winded. Let me know.
Oh no,
But
it's cool.
things
It's
are
cool.
just I
We just
pray
gotta break
y'all.
it up a little. We gotta break it up a little bit, and we're gonna break it up right now because
I'm breaking
we're
up.
getting to. No, we're gonna break the story up.
I'm gonna come back in. So just take a break, and I'm finna come back in. I'm gonna drop down and come back because I can't hear anything now.
We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We're taking no shorts. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. And you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me.
Hey,
All right, like us. We ain't taking no shorts, honey. We ain't taking no shorts.
Okay.
I know one thing. Y'all
What
got
you-
me
Okay.
munching.
What you say, Sugar
Okay.
Love?
I'm just like back here munching and
Look, I'm gonna tell
ginger
you what. Genesis, you scared the heck out of me. I was standing in the barbecue line trying to get my mac and cheese because I knew I was gonna need some comfort food after this, and get my mac and cheese and yams. And then you had posted something, and I saw my face. I said, "Oh my God, am I late? Oh my God!" And I saw you said in 30 minutes. I said, "Okay, Lord." And I was just in that line, just praying, counting down because they had closed the inside, so everybody was on the outside standing in line. I said, "Oh my goodness!" But God made it where I made it perfectly in time. So I'm ready to start whenever you guys are. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me take a bathroom break because I have not taken a bathroom break. So hold on for 1 second.
All right, so we're gonna play the song again. We ain't taking no shorts. We're gonna play. Hey,
Yeah, and don't forget
every
my
time you
song.
say- Which
And
one?
don't forget after that, don't forget my song. And don't forget we might do a part 2.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is a
so-
lot. We
This
need like
is
to like
so
pick this
juicy.
up. It's a
We
lot.
might do
We might have to
maybe
do a part
yeah,
two.
about 15 minutes because that'll be the 3-hour break. So
Right.
we will be doing a part 2. So she's gonna play that. We ain't taking it, but I like something abundantly.
Which one you want to hear? You want to hear "We Ain't Taking No Shorts" or you want to hear the other one?
My other one, it just does. I told you it does something to me.
Wait, no. We ended on that one. Don't
Oh,
say
okay.
the 2 song because this is the theme song to her.
Get the theme song, girl.
Right, so we
Pick
have
Pick it, DJ.
So you want to do "No Shorts" or you want to do the song before that?
No taking no shorts because
Not taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking what it is. Taking care of the kids, and we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing.
Okay, I'm back.
We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots.
Oh, sorry.
We're taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids, and we ain't taking no shots. And you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me.
So throughout this whole thing, we've been like just giving like a little bit theme music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you tell a story this deep, you gotta have like some theme music to like, you know what I'm saying, to go along.
Yes. Yes.
And I hope you
Yes.
appreciate the theme, right? You know what I'm saying? As you tell your story, we get the theme music to it. Okay, you're going through a transition. Now you ain't taking no shorts. All right, so now keep going.
Okay, can you remind me where it's left off? If you can. Oh, it probably was with the Enoch thing. So anyway,
Well, Enoch
he got.
was
Oh no, it was
a
at my
millionaire.
mom's. Me,
and
me being
he
homeless.
was
So
trying to
my
manipulate the whole
Gucci,
situation.
no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Hold on, guys, because Gucci, he likes to eat on the bottles, and he thought he was finna get to crunching, and that was on.
Enoch was a millionaire trying to manipulate the situation and your mom, and let's go.
Enoch, me and Enoch manifested that money together. That's why I walked away, because I was like, I'm gonna help you manifest this money together, Negro. So ain't no skin off my teeth if I walk away. And the woman that he's married to, the only reason why he married her is because she helped him save the last of his million. Because we ain't finna manifest these millions together. The way, and I'm gonna tell you how we manifested the millions. I was heartbroken over cancer. I went on the road with him because he's a truck driver at this point. I'm fast forwarding a little bit so y'all can see why or how we end up getting or manifesting the millions.
Is
And
this the
so
same guy that was stalking you, or is this another guy?
no, Enoch is the one I told you that I was in the polygamous relationship with,
Okay.
the Capricorn. So anyway, the one that helped raise my children. So anyway, he moved in with me, after he came off the road. He said, I'll just drive locally. By this point, he had the son. He married that woman because when I got evicted and he gave up that place, him and her, his son's mother, moved to Vegas. And I, was trying to figure it out. I was still homeless and all of this stuff and all of that or whatever. And so, he's going through his stuff and I'm going through my stuff, and our families are kind of like, y'all just need a break from each other. You know what I'm saying? And so what ended up happening was he's so in love with me and so like obsessed with me to the point where when he is doing things with other women, he likes to tell them, or if I'm there, like, watch me, he gets excited when I climax and things like that. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. But you know what I'm saying? So even with this new wife, when I found him later on in life, I told him, I said, you might as well go and tell her you in love with me. Because first of all, she got my whole face. And the way that your countenance lights up from the inside out, you doing her an injustice. But anyway, he came off the road. And by this point, I had already gotten saved. I had already changed my life. His family didn't want nothing to do with me. They was like, don't bring Kesia over here and all this stuff. Because, of course, he done lied and told them things. They still pissed off from 96 from me telling him, telling them, we not going to give y'all no more money and putting my foot down for certain things, right? They still holding that grudge. So, of course, they going to be like, team hate me. You know what I'm saying? No, don't go back to her or whatever. And so, and they going to feed his ego anyway, because he'll do anything for them. He'll pay off their debts. He's done it time and time again, even before we manifested the $1 million. When we really didn't have, I don't want to say no money, because we always had money, but with the money that we did have, he still always paid all their debt. And he's the youngest out of probably like 7 kids. Like 5 or 6 or 7 kids, something like that. He's the baby, but they all rely on Enoch. So things didn't work out with the new wife. Me and my ex, we was on some rocky terms. I started looking for him again. Then I start having dreams about Enoch before me and my husband got married every single day for 7 years. Every day, Enoch was in my dreams every single day for 7 years. I told my best friend, then the dreams start slowing down. I told my best friend, I said, he's finna come. She used to dance. I used to dance with her. She was still dancing every now and then. Enoch walks into the strip club. No lie. She calls me and said, Itch, guess who walked in the club tonight? I knew it was him, but I know how, because he has controlled me. And when I tell y'all, when I lived with this man in 96, I couldn't go down the street to my friend's house, because I told y'all my grandmother would basically groom these men on how to treat me. So I couldn't, and I didn't even think to really like stand up for myself. Like, Ninja, you tripping. But I felt like because he was taking care of me and I was kind of like tired from life, that I was just like, whatever, I'm comfortable. I got everything I need. And my friends, they live down the street that I went to high school with. We all lived in the same area. Ironically, like it was like, how Peggy Sue got married and her friends were like, we're going to live together and we're going to grow up and raise our kids. But that's literally how it was. Like, we didn't work it out like that. It just happened to be like that, And so, so what ended up happening was, Enoch's family ended up getting saved. I got saved. He got saved. Everybody got saved. They started coming to my church and everything was cool. And then one Sabbath, it was just like this, like Friday. And his sister was like, okay, y'all together again. Okay, we love it. Because we would have family movie night at my house, in my new apartment. And so, I was keeping independence, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would make sure, because of what was going on and him not allowing me to do certain things, I made sure that these are the stipulations. We weren't going to be we were intimate twice. Once when we were on the road, and then I gave him a little bit of some more when, he was doing really well. And, he's a good man. He's a hardworking man. And he's my best friend. I love being intimate with him. But at the same time, I was a fool for him. I was a stone cold fool, like wasting money when I could have had that money to this day, getting, hotel rooms, crying for what? Now that I think about it, just because I was trying to get away from his family, I felt pressured, buying balloons, all the stuff that you do with your mate and all of that stuff, trying to work it out. And, and we oldies, old heads, I'm trying to work it out. This is my soulmate. My soulmate. I don't even know if y'all even understand like how much we mean to each other, but at the same time, family dynamics can scar somebody from losing out on the very one that God created for them. So I basically started looking for Enoch, and I went to his sister's where the last time his sister and her husband was living. The brother-in-law, I gave him my card, my business card, because I'm a boss. I'm a boss. So I was like, yeah, give him my business card and tell him to call me. I didn't know him and his ex-wife were going through, his son's mother was going through a divorce out there in Vegas. Why his sister called me, and I'm creeping. I'm creeping. I'm coming from out another man's house. I mean, I was single, but you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my little thing. And so I get a woman on the phone talking about, why is your number in my husband's wallet? And I had to check myself, like, I know this ninja who house I just came out of, this ain't his woman, because from my understanding and from how we deal with each other, it can't be no woman because I'm here every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a situationship, but I was always there. My men would spoil me, run bath water from me and stuff like that. And I'd be over there for nights. Bring my little Enoch brother named me Vavoom. If y'all remember Felix the cat, and Vavoom used to always carry that bag. They used to name me Vavoom because, baby, when I was with Mr. Flowers, we going all the way. And I'm just bringing my spend a night bag, and dad, mom, I'll be back. I'm going to Enoch's. I'll be back, So at this point, when his ex-wife was saying all this stuff and it's this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I love you guys. This is how I was talking. I was like, praise the Lord. I said, I'm so glad that, if anyone would have ended up with him, even though it didn't work out with me and him, she was cussing me out. His sister was on the line. They was trying to see what was going on because they insecure. When me and Enoch went on the road, he told me the real. His ex-wife kept threatening him, talking about here's a motel, here's a motel, here's a hotel, here's a place for rent. And the way we Cappies do it, you don't threaten us over so long. We're going to have a game plan on that ants. Believe that. Before you even start thinking you about to leave us, we feel it. And we got a game plan already for you, boo-boo. So next time she said that and they was in Vegas and he was already like getting chips, like, you know what I'm saying, the poker chips, like from the high rollers, because he's such a good worker and he's loyal. He was like, no. He was like, oh, there's a place for rent. Let me out right here. He rented that place. Found out, ended up calling me, and that's how we ended up getting together. But like I said, the control issue, I wasn't finna have. So I made those stipulations. You move in here. We just friends. We might give each other a little taste, but you be wanting my whole soul. I gave you that, and you didn't know what to do with it, and God's not pleased with us. Like, my whole thing with Enoch is God has a plan for us, and regardless if you see it or not, I am not the one that's going to mess around and find out. Not me. Not LEKECIA Marie Garland. Nope. Because I know where God has brought me from. I know what God is doing. I remember when we was having that polygamous thing, and it was a whole big old thing, because one of the times we was getting ready to get down, shouldn't have been doing it while the kids was around, but we asked Enoch, did you lock the door? What did he say? What y'all think he said he did, y'all? He said he locked the door. He did not lock the door. And let's just say that my older son walked in on something that could have been more terrifying than, not terrifying, but, traumatizing. But he just said what he just said, Uncle Clinton here, Daddy, and walked out. But we was all nude, sitting in the circle together, getting ready to get to it. And we looked at me and her looked at him like, we asked you, did you lock the door? He didn't not only lock the bedroom door, he didn't lock the front door. So anyway, when that was the stipulations that, you know what I'm saying, I can't, God did not permit me to give you all of myself. So he got attitude when I asked him to get his stuff together. He got mad. He, showed out, and we separated for a minute. I gave him some air because I was over it. I had my independence. I was feeling myself. I was saved and sanctified, baby, and I don't need nothing from nobody. How about that? But Jesus. So I didn't care if he left or went. His sister kept saying, what did you do to him? What did you do to him? He brought his coworker over, trying to act like, we were testifying about our testimony and how we used to be, when we were younger, and we would be going off on each other, and I would cuss him out, throw ashtrays, because everybody smoked. So there's an ashtray handy, them big old heavy ashtrays. I just you talking on the side of your neck, what? Bam! Throw an ashtray across the
Hold up. Girl, I thought you ready. Hopefully you got that duck under control. Pow pow. Right? But
anyway,
well,
so
hold up. No, hold up. We don't want you to forget nothing.
Okay.
Because I got to stop and say some things, right?
Okay. Yes.
Now, again, I hope you guys are appreciating this testimony because it is definitely a testimony, and we never know what somebody is going through. Don't let the face and how you think they look, because you never know somebody's story, right? But this is so interesting. This is so interesting. And she also, because we also have to get into like her goals with the because she's also come on, y'all know, give me the word, give me the word. Y'all, where my backup at? Y'all
I
all
am a
fired.
seamstress. I
Thank
am a
you. I see,
designer.
Fashion
I am
see,
designer,
a
jewelry
designer.
maker,
right.
and she
Yeah,
was being stalked.
I'm a
Y'all,
And
jeweler.
y'all, y'all,
listen,
y'all
we
know
haven't
y'all job, damn it.
3 hours
Y'all know
in,
y'all job. But
and we haven't
I
even
also,
gotten
I
halfway
want to
into it.
also get into that. So we are definitely going to do a part 2
Right.
because it's so much more good stuff that we have to get into, because this is triumph over trauma over triumph. I'm speaking all time. I don't have that damn waffle done got me. I've been, girl, I've been sitting here snacking. I think I gained like 5 pounds. I drank all my ginger ale, right? But I hopefully we're gonna definitely do. So you saved that. I'm gonna remember head flying, ashtray flying, because I want to get more into when you started your faith, how you started breaking
Okay.
out of that, and how well, what made you go to school, and how was all of that. And then I'm going to be asking you questions,
Okay.
young lady, for part 2. I because I
Yes,
think like,
ma'am.
We
I
don't want
think
to get like so, because what I found out is that even with the when we create our shorts, like what people have been saying is that we do so much long of a live
no,
that
it's not
people
that, but
will
it's
get
like it's
bored
so
up.
good, and we want people to come back for more. So you never want to give them like everything at one
Everything at once.
time when
Yeah,
it's
and
so
back
much
and
good
forth.
nuggets and so much good things that's going on here, because there's a lot more to this story. So again, this is a test with a capital T. This is a testimony of testimonies, baby. And we really appreciate her
We want to
coming
give
here
her
and
story
gracing
justice.
us.
I want to
Hmm.
give her story justice because I don't want
Right.
the details to get lost because it's like X amount of time in, and people like with YouTube, they only watch a certain amount sometimes, and
It's not about the time. I mean, we were gonna
I
say the
believe it is
time.
because
It don't matter. It's just
I just
that
know from when I look at my back end, some people might just only watch 17.
girls, it don't matter. Mm,
I believe it, dude.
goodbye,
They're gonna
DJ.
miss it. They're gonna miss it.
It don't. But DJ, kick DJ,
They can
take us out of
always
here.
pause
I
and
mean,
come
D-
kick
back.
rod
They
people
can
DJ,
coming.
take
still
us out of here, please.
Listen, we fixing to do a part two, and because the real stuff happened in part 2 because what's happening right now is in part 2.
Yeah,
No,
and then remember, part 2, I'm gonna be at, because see, the first part is really about the person, right? Because it's their time, it's their story. So I just like to let them do the talking. I don't like to like really interrupt people, right? So it's their time to shine. So you got the floor. But I will be asking some questions in part 2, young lady.
okay.
And so, DJ,
when we gonna do part 2? Like Sunday?
we not
Yeah, we can
because
do it Sunday.
Let's
I
do
want.
part 2 on
Can
Sunday.
we
Yes.
discuss this not on air, please?
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. But I
DJ,
do want to say,
I'm
wait a
gonna
minute,
play,
hold on. I want to
honey.
say
Though
thank you, Sugar.
I,
Wait a minute. Wait a
DJ,
minute, guys.
mm,
I
Wait.
done made a few songs.
Sugar,
You have inspired me.
Sugar, and
uh-huh.
Genesis. Thank you both for
No,
doing the
thank you,
Lord's
baby.
work. Genesis, I want you to understand that God is using you for a special purpose. Do not focus on anything negative. After today, focus on only the good because you have your own testimonies that you've been telling, and that's why you're able to help others like me and other people. So do not focus, don't even look at the negative.
Okay.
If you gotta do that, then talk to Sugar about it. Call
No,
me. You got my number now.
DJ gonna write a book.
Yeah, she is. Yes, she is.
Sugar done scolded me. Trust me, because I be getting
she
mad.
is writing a book, and that's gonna be like 5 parts, right?
Yeah.
Her story is exciting. She's gonna probably do 500 pages for 5 different parts, right? 1,000 pages apart, because she got the child, she got this. I mean, she did really. What they said about DJ, DJ play us a couple of songs, right, and then take us out of here. And thank all of you. Thank all of you guys for. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. Hopefully, you guys were able to understand. Hopefully, you could take some of this and be a watchful eye for another child, or be a watchful eye for somebody else.
And LEKECIA, you inspired so many songs within me.
Thank you, Genesis. Glory be to God.
Glory be to God. Story, I was on and I was writing so many songs, you know what I'm saying? And then I was putting up the things with your imagery on it. So I'm gonna play those songs, and then we're gonna get into our regular
inspired 3 pounds on me, right?
I want y'all to, like, you know, we're gonna start with the slow song and we're gonna move it up into like the
and then DJ take us out of here. And thank you so much.
It's gonna be like a whole DJ.
CC, I was CC. Thank you, CC.
I love you guys. Thank you for having me. So honored and so humbled. I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled. To God be the glory. Thank you, Jesus.
Not taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with it. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. Taking no shorts. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. And you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing.
The mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transitioning mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life, making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition.
transition. I'm trying to get it right. Transition. On a mission. I'm trying to get it right. I'm transition. Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light. I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror, unapologetically. Love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. I'm 100 proof, and I love who I see because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. A star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible. I'm incredible.